Hey everyone, Stacy here. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back, and welcome to March. So today, let's take a little bit of a deeper dive and talk about March and how this energy is going to be showing up for each and every one of us in at least 2 areas of life. Now, before I dive into all 12 signs, I want to take a really quick opportunity to thank each and every one of you for liking my content, sharing out my content, and subscribing to my channel. I truly appreciate the love and the support. And of course, I am sending that back to you tenfold. Also, just another quick reminder, these are general horoscopes. They are general readings. I am a Western tropical astrologer, and I also use a whole sign house system for all of my videos here on YouTube. Now, if you want to work with me one-on-one, I do use the whole sign house system and the Placidus system, just for those of you that are curious. So as always, take what resonates and leave the rest. I do recommend watching for your rising sign. I think that would be the closest or the most accurate reading that you could get. Besides, of course, connecting with myself or one of your favorite astrologers, you can also watch for your sun sign. I'm confident you should be able to take away some nuggets of information for both your rising and your sun sign. Now, for those of you that are cuspy babies, I would say the last 5 degrees of a sign. So for example, say you are a Leo sun or a Leo rising at around 25, 26 degrees of the sign. You can certainly watch for the next sign over, which is Virgo, for example. Now, again, take what resonates, leave the rest. You don't have to do that. I mean, even if you are a 29 degree Aries rising or Taurus rising or whatever the case may be, you are through and through that sign. But the entire birth chart makes up us, who we are, our personality, our purpose, what we're here to do. The health and well-being of our body is also captured in the birth chart as well. So you can certainly watch for your moon, your Venus, your Mars, as long as it doesn't confuse you. But I would say stick to the basics, watch for your sun, watch for your rising, and that should give you a high-level overview of what you can expect for the month ahead. And of course, as I mentioned, if you'd like to work with me one-on-one, my calendar is back open. So thank you everyone for your patience. I needed that break in January and February, so certainly reach out. For those of you that did reach out to me while I was off on a leave, I reached out to you, so definitely check your spam, check your inbox, double check your emails, because I did have a wait list and I did reach out to each and every one of you to give you a heads up by the time this video is on YouTube. Hopefully you all received that message before everybody else here. So anyway, my calendar is open for March for the time being. And if you're interested, check out the link in the description box below to get in touch with me. And also just a reminder, there's timestamps down below in the description box, along with lots of other information, you guys. I've made separate videos about Saturn moving into Aries, Neptune moving into Aries, Uranus moving into Gemini. I've made all separate videos about that. Stay tuned for my Jupiter moving into Leo video, and also the North Node moving into Aquarius. I'll be releasing those videos as well in the next few months. Okay, so we're going to go over some quick high-level astrology for the month ahead. So as you can see on the slide here, I have the mundane transits listed. I have the dates of the new moon and also that full moon lunar eclipse that we're having in Virgo, the stations this month. So the bigger news here is Mercury and that all outer planets are direct. And then I have the ingresses on the slide as well. So feel free to take a screenshot. Now, I love the mundane astrology this month, you guys. I really do love it. But keep in mind, I am an optimist. I always encourage everyone to take this energy higher versus, I just don't see the point in talking about or Debbie Downing or, turning this into a negative mundane transit reading. I don't really see the point of that. So I always encourage everyone to take this energy higher. I love the transits this month, you guys. It's in my notes here, I wrote down tons of North Node activations, which I love. I love dealing with the eclipse points. I love dealing with eclipses. Yes, they can make our head spin. Yes, it can be a lot of change. Yes, it can be a lot of transformation and a lot of stuff happening in our lives. But Once the dust settles, it is just so rewarding to look back and see what you have gone through and the resilience or the boundaries or the big life changes that you have made in your life, not anyone else, but you have made in your life to transform your life and your circumstances. I feel like that's what the theme of 2026 is really going to be about. We got a taste of it in 2025. But I really, truly feel like 2026 is a blank slate. They are showing me that over and over and over again. And when I say they, them, I'm talking about my spiritual team. Yes, I have a spiritual team, just like everybody else on the planet has a spiritual team. They're just made up of different characters, let's say, different entities from different dimensions, or loved ones, or angels, or guides, or spirit. So they have been showing me for months and months and months and months that 2026 and 2027 is going to be critical, pivotal, big life changes, not only for the planet, but for us individually as well. So think of this as a blank slate year. There's no need to rush. There's no need to, transform your circumstances within a day. But this is really the year, you guys, to try to get traction on at least one area of life. And I think you're going to be surprised how quickly manifestation can take form this year as well, as long as you are leaning into and diving into anything, anyone, every single thing that you're doing lights you up and lifts you up from the inside out. So anyway, March kind of reminds me of that. I mean, look at all the transits. We have lots of opportunity aspects here. I can only see one square that is actually happening on the new moon, the exact same day as the new moon in Pisces here, which is that 0 degree point activation, by the way, of Saturn and Neptune coming together middle of February. Lots of activations this month of that 0 degree mark. Yes, the new moon is not in Aries, but it's at 28, 29 degrees of Pisces. I would say that's pretty darn close to zero degrees of Aries. I'm not an astrologer that uses exact, to the point, to the day manifestations. When we're dealing with the larger outer planets, I always widen the orb by 10 degrees, but I noticed a lot of astrologers don't do that, which is fine. There's no right and wrong in astrology. It's just what we feel and what we see that resonates with us and the group of clients that we in particular attract and work with, for example. So in my personal life and dealing with my clients, I noticed a lot of transits happen well before the day. So it's never, ever, ever usually about the day. It's usually about the time leading up to the day. And then I find the day of the transit, the exact transit, can sometimes be a reflection point of like, wow, look at everything I just went through. Oh, it could have been because of this transit. Could have been, right? So, because again, astrology is not exact to the point manifestation, or at least that's not how I use it. Yes, it can be used in that way. I definitely have no doubt about that. And I've seen it myself. I witnessed it myself. But from an overall global feel with these general readings, it's tough to pinpoint exactly how this is going to manifest for each and every one of us. Because again, I don't have your personal birth chart sitting in front of me. I'm just using a generic whole sign house system. And keep in mind, again, we have planets all usually scattered about the birth chart. So it depends on what other activations do you have at these respective degree points. So for example, anything that you have at the final, I'm going to say 5 degrees of a sign and the beginning 5 degrees of a sign, that's where you're going to add in those additional changes and layers to this conjunction that happened in middle of February. And it's going to be activated again in March with the new moon in Pisces. And also as these planets are moving through Pisces energy into Aries, they're all going to pile into Aries at some point. So I'm talking about the sun, the moon, Mercury, Venus, and Mars. They're all eventually tracking through Pisces, and they're going to crash into that 0 degree mark of Aries, and they're going to come together with Saturn and Neptune. So as you can see, lots of conjunctions this month. I'm personally, again, looking forward to this, especially any sort of activations to the North Node in Pisces. This is fate, destiny, fortune finding its way to us in the Piscean area of our life. But again, what other planets, placements, points, angles talk to the Piscean area of your life or the Aries area of your life? So you see what I mean? This is where additional layer upon layer, this is where astrology gets complicated. So just know these videos I make, they're just scratching the surface of the possibility of manifestation in the respective areas of life that I touch on in these monthly videos. So anyway, enough about that. I would say all of these dates, if you want to circle them on your calendar, we have some beautiful dates in here that stand out to me. March 4th, 5th. I love that. Venus coming together with Neptune, like 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, that entire week. I love those dates, you guys. But again, this is where it depends on how it's talking to the rest of your birth chart. March 18th, we have a square between the two benefics, Venus and Jupiter. Excess. All I'm seeing around this is excess. It's the two benefics squaring off. Nothing to sweat about besides pushing it too much that day, going a little bit too far that day, drinking a little bit too much on St. Paddy's Day, whatever celebrations you have planned around those days. That's the only thing I see, and it's connected to the new beginning that's happening on or around the 18th of March. So again, benefics squaring off, you guys, are totally, actually, I've seen a lot of this even in my own personal birth chart as manifestation at its finest. When the benefics square off to my planets in my birth chart, I really see that as manifestation. So I'm personally looking forward to the middle of the month as well. I know a lot of astrologers are looking forward to, again, I don't use exact degree point, you guys, but Saturn is making its exact sextile to Pluto. Again, this kind of happened in 2025 when Saturn and Neptune dipped into Aries already. So to me, I was already looking at the sextile energy, which is opportunity energy. But again, a lot of astrologers probably will hype that up this month because they're perfecting this month. But again, you guys, it's not about the day. It's not about the month. These are big, heavy hitters in the sky. This energy was with us in 2025. Check out my kite. I have a video down below called the Kite Cradle activations for 2025 and 2026, where I talk about Pluto and Neptune and Uranus and Saturn and Jupiter talking together in the sky for each and every one of us and what areas of life are being activated. That is the bigger energy at play that's going to be, well, that already started in 2025, and it's going to take us 2030 and beyond, you guys. Like, it's just, and I'm not saying it's going to be a cakewalk. It's just that we have never experienced this before. So I don't know, if you haven't noticed, I'm passionate about it. I'm jazzed up about it, and I want you to be excited about it because, again, this is the time to clear the slate and once and for all manifest what you want, create what you want. Attract in that partner, the job, the career, the purpose, the life, the home, the lifestyle, the money, the animals, like whatever you want, you guys, it's on the table. It's right there. It's right there at our fingertips. We just have to reach out, put in the effort, show the universe, hey, this is what I want. This is what I want to go after, and you're going to get it. I know it sounds simple, but anyway, I'll save that for another video of manifestation. Okay, we're going to talk about the lunations this month. Of course, that lunar eclipse in Virgo. We are, just a reminder, we're walking in between the eclipses. Even when I release this video, I know I'm going to release it a little bit earlier, just so you have this heads up energy for March and this other eclipse, this second eclipse that's happening. But this one's in Virgo. The last one was in Aquarius in that brand new eclipse cycle. And then we have a beautiful new moon this month in Pisces. Both lunations I like. Jupiter is supporting the eclipse. And then this new moon, we have Uranus actually supporting this brand new fresh beginning with that Venus-Jupiter square. So we'll talk about that. And yes, all the outer planets are finally direct. So Jupiter was the last one. He is turning direct this month. And just think the next time he goes retrograde, he's going to be in Leo. So again, stay tuned for my Jupiter in Leo video. I'll be releasing that in the next couple months here. But yes, finally he's going direct in Cancer. So that area of life is going to be reactivated by Jupiter. No more going back over old ground in this area of life. It's full steam ahead. Yes, Mercury retrograde, February, March, April is going to be impacted by Mercury retrograde. And this one is interesting because, again, he's going back and forth over the North Node, opposing that South Node in Virgo. Also, yeah, I believe he's talking in a wide aspect to the eclipse energy as well, but we'll talk about that anyway for both areas of life. But he is, just a reminder I have on the slide here, he went into shadow, meaning he's starting to slow down, February the 11th. February the 26th, he goes retrograde officially at 22 degrees of Pisces. And then he'll be going direct March the 20th at 8 degrees of Pisces. So again, check your chart. I talked about it last month. I will mention it again this month because the two areas of life this month I'm going to focus on is your Virgo area of life, your Piscean area of life, and your Aries area of life. But always keep in mind, again, your birth chart is talking to, or sorry, these activations could be talking to the rest of your birth chart. So always keep that in mind. 8 to 22 degrees. Anything you have between those degree points are also being activated at this time by this Mercury retrograde. Ingresses, our action, passion, motivation, drive is going to be changing a little bit with Mars moving into the Pisces Pisces energy as well. Like I said, Pisces and Aries, those two areas of life are jam-packed with energy this month. Venus is moving into Aries as well. And yes, happy equinox on or around the 20th of March. We are celebrating spring in the Northern Hemisphere and fall in the Southern Hemisphere. I don't know about you, but me being in Northwestern Ontario, I am done. I am beyond done, you guys. I'm to the point where, I don't know, tell me where to move. Where can I move, you guys? Where? It's time to move. No more snow, no more ice, no more, 40 below Celsius. Yes, very, very chilly where I live. But anyway, hopefully that's wrapping up for us Northerners. Hallelujah. And then at the end of the month, Venus does move into her home sign of Taurus, but we're going to talk about that in April. Otherwise, I think that is about all I was going to talk about. Otherwise, we're going to get into all 12 signs now. Reminder, watch for your rising, watch for your sun. Any other planet placement point you're welcome to watch for as well. And if you're a cuspy baby, so if your sun or your rising is like the last 5 degrees of a sign, feel free to watch the next video over. So for example, if you're like a 25 degree Virgo individual, you'll probably benefit a little bit by watching the Libra area as well, because again, I'm thinking that would probably encompass part of your first house, especially if you are a rising individual that's late degree. Sun, I'm not really sure if it would resonate or not, but again, you do you, folks. I just don't watch for too many signs because it might confuse you. Unless you know your birth chart like the back of your hand. That's definitely a different story. I can appreciate everybody is on their own learning curve here with astrology. So let's dive into all 12 signs. Hey, Aries sun or rising, let's take a look at the month of March and cover off the 3 areas of life where you're going to see some activations this month. So first, let's start off with that full moon total lunar eclipse in the sign of Virgo, and this is happening at or around 12-13 degrees. Now, Virgo does not directly talk to you, Aries, so to speak, in the birth chart. It's called sort of an inconjunct, where the two signs don't exactly see eye to eye on the wheel. Quite literally, you can't see Virgo from your vantage point there. But it doesn't mean that you're not going to have activations in this area of life, or maybe perhaps some of you have planets or angles in the sign of Virgo, for example. So What is the sixth house? It is a heavy house, by the way, and keep in mind this is a full moon. So yes, it's an eclipse, so sometimes we can't see things 100% for what they are, but it doesn't mean we can't get traction, or in this case, this is endings, culmination points in this area of life, Aries. So this is about anything to do with your day-to-day duty and responsibility. This also includes your routines, getting up in the morning, brushing your teeth, having your coffee, going for a run. I don't know, whatever your routine is, that's in this area of life. And again, probably if it hasn't already, Aries, probably up for some more change in this respective area of life. The sixth house is also one of the health and well-being houses. So again, changes to the medical status or changes to your diet, health, and nutrition, because that also lands in this house as well. Pets or animals are also in the sixth house. So maybe they might need some extra TLC. And keep in mind, you guys, we've been in this eclipse cycle for a while. So what I'm talking about here is not one and done. It's something that we've been working on since 2023, 2024, and it is going, 2024, 2025, forgive me. Going too far back there. But anyway, eclipse cycles ripple out 2 to 3 years is what I'm getting at here. So the cycle we're in here, we're kind of in the middle of, and this one will wrap up in 2027. So keep this in mind that eclipse energy is never about the day. It's about before the day and after the day, so to speak. Okay, so sixth house, pets, animals, habits, routines. Sixth house is also aunts, uncles, the workplace atmosphere. For those of you that do work with other individuals, this also is your coworkers. There's probably has already been change or will be some more change coming down the pipe in these areas of life. And your duties and responsibilities and obligations will probably go through a reshuffle as well, Aries. But again, some of this might have already changed. It just means that there's more activations here now this month. So the next 6 months, or possibly in January and February, you might have already experienced some change here. And then now you have to carry this change into the next 6 months or so. Or there's going to be possibly more activations on the health front. Keep in mind, if you're going through any health bouts or if you're going through any testing or anything like that, don't get too discouraged if your test results come back unknown, or what's the medical terminology here? I'm sure somebody will correct me in the comments below, but it comes back as like indecisive, like they don't really know. Keep trying, okay? Get second opinions, get different opinions, because again, this eclipse energy is kind of blinding all of us. Plus, on top of it, Mercury is retrograde in your 12th house, which also is a medical house as well, Aries. So just something to keep in mind. Okay, now let's jump to the 2 areas of life. As you can see, the concentration of planets is in Pisces and your sign this month. So let's first talk about you, Aries. And oh my God, I almost forgot. It's your birthday. I'm sorry, Aries. I just dived right into that eclipse and totally forgot. But yes, if you're celebrating, if you're celebrating a birthday this month, my friends, I want to wish you a fantastic birthday month ahead. It's a really nice birthday month ahead. If you watched my intro video there, I love the aspects this month. I love this, all these personal planets crashing into Saturn and Neptune now in your sign. I'm excited for you. I want you to be excited about this beautiful new energy coming into your life. I'm not saying it's going to be a cakewalk, you guys, but this is your clean slate moment. This is the moment to start to build the life that you want and desire. And you don't have to finish it today. You don't have to finish it tomorrow. You don't even have to finish it, Aries, by the end of March or April. This energy is going to be with you for quite some time. So I love this for you. I wish you not only a wonderful day ahead, but a fantastic year, solar year ahead as well, Aries. And just keep in mind, you have all this beautiful energy concentrated in your birthday solar chart year ahead. I do those readings on my website if you're interested. Yeah, this is definitely packing a punch for you for the year ahead, my friends. So set those birthday wishes. You'll have a new moon next month to set your birthday wishes, but I mean, it doesn't matter. Wish away this month because there's so much concentrated energy in your 12th house and first house. So let's break this down. First house is pretty straightforward. It's all about us. It's all about our physical appearance. It's our actual, it can represent, if it's your rising sign, especially if you're an Aries rising, this is your physical being, your physical body. It's like health and well-being of the body. Now, Aries sun is also, purpose, place in the world. It's what your soul wants to experience in this lifetime. And it's also, tapped into your health and well-being and vitality as well. First house connects to big major life cycles. Why? Because it's an angular house. So anything that happens in the first house, Aries, you've probably heard me harp about this before. It impacts your relationship house, it impacts your career house, and it impacts your home and family house. So it really impacts multiple areas of life, Aries. So lots of big change here. And again, you had that, you have the Saturn Neptune conjunction in your sign. This energy is going to be with you for a while, but eventually Saturn will pull away from Neptune. The retrograde, I think he comes back. I can't remember the degree point. I don't think it's too close to Neptune because Neptune's very slow. Neptune's going to be here for about 12, 13 years. Saturn will be here for about 2.5 years. Venus here is going to make you a great attractor, a great manifester. So what do you want to manifest, Aries? A relationship, more money, more love, more business, more material possessions, whatever you want. Whatever you want. When Venus is transiting the first house, it makes you automatically really attractive. So if you're looking for a new job, if you're looking to promote yourself, with Venus in the first house, it definitely makes you look automatically very, very good. Now, lots of energy in that 12th house. And this is where we have a brand new moon on or around the 18th of the month, depending on where you're on the planet. Again, this new moon is so close to your sign, it's going to be activating this 0 degree mark in your sign. So again, do you have anything around, I'm going to say 0 to 10 degrees of Aries? You're really going to feel this energy. And if you don't know your chart, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it because all the Aries folks are going to feel this, whether you're watching for your sun, your rising, or any other planet Aries. But again, for those of you, the first 10 degrees of Aries is really going to feel this energy. So 12th house, bit of a hidden house. I can see your ruler is in here. Just a heads up, Aries, I find when Mars is rolling around in the 12th house, it's hard to get proper sleep. So just a heads up. It might not impact all of you. This might not affect all of you because again, this has to be your true 12th house. But I do notice Mars rolling around in here. He asks us to get into better sleep habits and routines. So you might need to kind of tighten up the belt when it comes to your bedtime or sleep routines over the next 4 to 6 weeks or so. So he's going to be in here for quite some time. 12th house is all about endings and new beginnings. So this is about preparing for a brand new fresh start, which I feel like Aries, like you've already jumped headfirst into something. And with all this energy and Mercury retrograde in your 12th house, these planets are asking you to kind of, okay, you started something new, but make sure you've cleaned up the past before you start something new, if that makes sense. So letting go, taking out the trash, cleaning out the closets, getting rid of things that you don't want to take into this brand new fresh beginning. Especially those of you, if you're looking to move, I see Jupiter is now direct in your 4th house, a home family foundation. Excellent time to declutter, downsize, or I don't know, Jupiter in the 4th house makes you want to buy more stuff. So it's however you want to use this energy, Aries, but my recommendation is just don't take anything from the past that bogs you down. Cut it out, cut it, end it, sever it. Your ruler Mars is going to help you do that. Chop, chop, chop. So I like that. I personally like that energy. But again, the challenge will be Jupiter is going to want to expand this area of life, and he wants you to go big or go home, and he wants you to grow in this area of life. But that's okay if it's new experiences. Anything new is okay. But get rid of the old, because Aries, how is the universe and the blessings going to find you coming out of this 4th house? if you got cluttered closets, if you got crap in every corner of your house, like, yeah, do some feng shui too. I'm not a feng shui expert, but I do a little bit of feng shui in my house, and man, it makes the world of a difference. And I don't do a lot, to be honest. So just a suggestion. I'm not telling you guys to go hire a consultant and spend thousands of dollars. Just Google it, you guys. You know, everything's on YouTube nowadays for nothing. So just a suggestion. 12th house is really nice for introspection. I like this Mercury retrograde for you because this is going to help you clean out the clutter and help you get clear on what exactly you want to bring in over the next year. So yeah, this is actually perfect for you for your birthday cycle, whether you're celebrating this month or next month. It doesn't matter, Aries, because this Mercury retrograde, as I mentioned, is going to impact us February, March, and April. Yeah, I don't think Mercury moves into your sign until sometime in April, and same with your ruler Mars. And yeah, you're really going to get jazzed up when Mars moves back into your sign, that's for sure. Okay, what else? Yeah, this is introspection of where is your time, your energy, and your effort being spent. Multiple areas of life, Aries. As I mentioned before, first house, 12th house connection here of relationships, career, job, retirement, your finances, your resources, your home, your family foundation, quite literally your place of living, Aries. All of that is up for some review. Solitude, alone time, rest. What do you do behind closed doors? Are you resting? Are you burning the candle at both ends? Are you just working too much, Aries? 12th house is also your hidden gifts, talents, and abilities. So I love this, Aries, for you. If any of you are working on something behind the scenes, or you were at one time, maybe even back in 2025, you were working on something. Now it's time to pick that back up again, especially if it has a connection to your purpose, your work, your being of service, your career, your whatever. And if you're not working, what do you want to pour your gifts, your talents, your abilities into? Is it volunteering? Is it connecting with like-minded souls? Is it traveling? Is it giving time, energy, and effort to causes that are near and dear to you, Aries? Is it spending more time with family, traveling to go see family? Like, if you're not working, apply this to your circumstances. And this energy is not going to pass you by. If you're retired, it does not matter. This energy is manifesting whether you're consciously using it or not. So I'm just encouraging everyone to consciously use this time to manifest whatever they want. Now, it's not a light switch. Some of you it will be, some of you it won't be. We're all on our own paths and timelines here. So really nice energy coming in for you this month, Aries. And again, keep in mind you have that brand new moon that's cuspy, very, very cuspy. Some of your energy is going to get pulled into this, and some of the 12th house Piscean energy is going to get pulled into this. And that's on the slide here around the 18th of the month. All right, Aries, it's going to be a beautiful, fantastic month for you. So enjoy, and we'll see you back here in April. Bye for now. Hey there, Taurus, sun or rising. Let's dive into the month ahead, and let's focus on the Virgo area of your life, the Aries and the Piscean area of your life. So let's start with that full moon eclipse down in your 5th house. Now, Taurus, I love this for you. I know eclipses are wild cards. I get it. But I personally love working with eclipses. I really do, especially when I see them in the 5th house or the 11th house, and that's where you've been having these activations since about 2024 is when these activations technically started for us. So what I'm about to give you, kind of some examples of this area of life, might have already manifested. It's just that this eclipse this month is just another reminder of the changes or more changes that you may need to incorporate in this respective area of life. Now, because it's highlighting both axes, Taurus, we're going to also talk about the Piscean area of your life. But first, we'll start with the 5th house here. And keep in mind, this is a full moon technically. It is a bit hindered, like we're kind of blindsided around eclipses. We can't really grasp what's happening. But at the end of the day, this is endings, culmination points, kind of like next steps on our journey. So, fifth house, I love this. It's making beautiful aspects to you, Taurus. So, anything you have around 12, 13 degrees, I'd say widen the orb with eclipses. Like I'd say 5 degrees on either side of about 12, 13 degrees. This eclipse will impact you personally, whether it's your rising or your sun. If it's your sun, it could be part of your health and vitality, could be about the father or authority figures in your life, could be about career, purpose. If it's your rising sign, it could have something to do with the health and well-being, again, of your physical body, your physical being, or something to do with your identity, like changing up the identity, which I have no doubt, Taurus, you have done for quite a few years now with Uranus in your first house. But don't worry, that's going to end next month. So changing up your image, Taurus, I'm hoping at least one of you out there can resonate with that, with Uranus being in your first house since 2018. Yeah, 2018. So anyway, physical being, physical body, the way you look, your image, things like that. And also, if it is your rising, if you're Taurus rising, this could also impact your relationships. So anything to do with your one-to-one connections in love, marriage, business, family, you name it. There could be some changes and adjustments in regarding these relationships, or how you relate one-on-one to these individuals or whoever you relate to, whoever's in your circle. Also, contracts, agreements, negotiations could be on the table as well for you this month, or readjustments. This could be a trigger of readjustments with contracts, agreements, negotiations. Okay, back to the fifth house. Children, grandchildren is housed in the fifth house. Love affairs, romance, dating, sexuality, self-expression, creative projects, hobbies are in here as well. Joy, fertility, gambling, entertainment, all that fun stuff. All the fun stuff lies in the fifth house, Taurus. So again, I'm not saying all of this is going to get taken away from you, okay? All that I rambled off there, it just means that there could be changes coming into this area of life. And let me just double check here. Okay, yeah, and it's also making a supportive aspect from Jupiter that is now direct in your third house, Taurus, so you should be getting more action and traction and busyness coming out of this third house. But Jupiter is supporting this lunation, this eclipse. It could go either way. Jupiter brings growth and excess, so Jupiter can sometimes bring a little bit too much of a good thing, but Jupiter also brings in relief and blessings and protection as well, Taurus. So again, it could go either way. I'd have to see your personal birth chart to see exactly kind of what's going on here. But regardless, Jupiter is a benefic, but the wild card here is the eclipse. So you don't really know what you're going to get. Keep in mind, I'm going to say it again, this is a fertility surprise. Could be a fertility surprise. Maybe some of you already gone through this, or you know of someone that is like, oh, surprise, they're pregnant, or grandbabies are coming in, or children are coming in. So it might not be about you. Think about your social circle, people around you, because this full moon eclipse, as I mentioned, also activates the axes across the street from it. So the Piscean area of your life. So it could be a friend getting pregnant unexpectedly, or maybe you find out someone in your social circle has been trying for a long time to get pregnant, and boom, they get pregnant. Because Jupiter can bring that blessing as well. Jupiter brings excess, right? So usually multiple children or twins or whatever the case may be. So again, hopefully that doesn't scare you, Taurus. I'm not trying to scare you. I'm just giving you simple possible examples of what could come out of this. Also, it is a lucky house, but please don't bet the farm, Taurus. Do not bet the farm. Eclipses are not one to go and bet everything. They really are not, because just when you think you've kind of got an eclipse nailed down, oh, trust me, it'll prove you wrong. Trust me, it'll prove you wrong. But, the fifth house, the third house makes beautiful aspects to you, Taurus. And even with Uranus kind of closing out its cycle in your first house. I'm a believer of when these heavy hitters leave the area of life or the house or the sign or the element, it usually leaves us a gift, a permanent gift. And I think of it as a benefit, as sort of like that silver lining from it shaking up and waking up this area of life for so many years for you, Taurus. So anyway, that's just my belief systems though. I'm not saying you have to believe that, but again, I'm an optimist. I always look at this energy as the glass is half full, not half empty for us. Okay, so that's the 5th house. Let's go back and talk about your 12th house and your 11th house here. So let's talk about this 12th house. This is where the conjunction happened in February. I mean, it's still lingering. The energy is still fresh. The new moon this month is going to be activating that 0-degree mark because it's so darn close. Plus, as the planets pour into your 12th house, they're going to activate that 0-degree mark again. Plus, on top of it, the sun, eventually Mercury, Venus, and Mars, and the moon for that matter, is going to crash into Saturn and Neptune. Conjunctions are neutral energy, and they technically are a new beginning. But where this adds more layers, or where I would need more information, is how is this talking to your birth chart, Taurus? So multiple opportunity here of fresh new starts in your 11th house and 12th house. 12th house is interesting though. It is a more hidden house. It is one of the houses that are connected to our health and well-being. So this could be a health reset for you, Taurus. This is about endings and new beginnings. This is about cleaning out the closet. This is about, downsizing. Well, Jupiter's getting ready to move in your 4th house. So I'm thinking for you, it's going to be about going big or going home, but it might not be. It might not be with the trine to Saturn, which restricts and constricts, and then Neptune just blurs the lines. He's just there having a good time, boozy woozy. Yeah, but I mean, Neptune's not a bad planet. He's not a malefic or a benefic. He's just Neptune. He's just there. Taurus, your dreams are going to get really vivid. I really encourage all of you to lean into a spiritual practice sooner than later, if you haven't already done so. Okay, now I'm not telling you to go join a cult or a religion or any of that stuff. Okay, you guys, I'm just saying find something that lifts you up and lights you up, because that's what Neptune in the 12th house is really going to bring forward for you. And if you lean into your spiritual side, I think it's really going to surprise you. And again, this is like a 12-year, 13-year transit, Taurus. So you got lots of time. Some of you could become like dream specialists. I see Pluto in your 10th house there, transforming your career, your purpose, your higher calling. This is an 18-year transit. Yeah, incredible, Taurus. I think a lot of you are going to be changing the planet, as we know. I think a lot of you are going to be changing up our belief systems and spirituality and what that means to each and every one of us. But it's not going to happen overnight, But with all this potent energy in your 12th house, it's starting to percolate. It's starting to kind of bubble to the surface some ideas. So write them down, Taurus, or you do you. These are just examples. I'm not saying you have to do this. 12th house is about getting a little bit more leaner, about getting clear on where is your time, your energy, and your efforts being spent, for example, in all areas of life. This is a reassessment of every single corner of your existence, of your home, of your family, of your place of living, of your health and well-being, of your body, of your spirituality. Like it's turning you, the 12th house is turning you inside and out, inside and out, inside and out, unraveling. It's going to get to the core, Taurus. Man, with Pluto at the top of your sky working with you too, like, man, oh man, all of you are going to be powerful, potent humans after these transits. That's for sure. I love it. I'm excited for all of you. I really am. And I'm hoping you hear my passion, and I'm hoping to kind of get you fired up about this transit as well in a good way. 12th house, healing on multiple levels: psychic, psychological, mental, physical, emotional, you name it, healing. Some of you probably will become shamans. This is retreats. This is solitude. This is getting away, moving. Oh God, I'm going to be honest with you, Taurus. I'm not a Taurus, but my home line goes through Taurus. And if I can move to the middle of nowhere, that would be my dream. As long as I have good internet connection to do this, to do the work that I love, I'm cool. I'm good. So things like that, like just getting away from it all, clearing away the clutter mentally, physically, emotionally, psychologically, everything, psychically even. Yeah, this is going to make you very psychic too, Taurus. If you're not already psychic, or if you feel like you're not, oof, yeah, this is going to be awesome for you. Hidden gifts, talents, abilities are going to surface, 100%. 100%. Again, today, tomorrow, maybe not. But by the end of this transit, yeah, the huge activations for you, Taurus. Okay, last but not least, the 11th house. This is where you have Mercury retrograde. You have Mars here for the next, I think, 6 weeks or so. And you have a brand new moon here. But again, it's pulling in that Aries energy. That's the way I'm looking at it, because it's pulling in that 0-degree activation. So the 11th house is all about older siblings, if you do have older siblings, friendship circles, groups, like-minded souls, connections, community memberships, like people that you surround yourself with, Taurus. This is also your role or your duty and responsibility connected to these affiliations and groups. This is the house of long-term planning, long-term commitments, your hopes, your wishes, your dreams. The 11th house is also a lucky house as well. But again, you guys, Mercury retrograde, the eclipse, you do you. If you feel it in your gut, give her. But yeah, just please don't put yourself at high risk. Yeah, trust me, it's not worth it. It is not worth it. Where was I here? 11th house is also social media, networking events, rubbing shoulders with like-minded people. And it's the house that lifts you up and lights you up. So similar theme to what I was talking about, the 12th house. You're really being activated this month, Taurus, to start going deeper, start thinking, not saying you aren't, okay? It depends on where your Mercury, look to your natal Mercury to see how you digest and chew on information, and how you absorb information, and how you think, and how you speak, and how you write, and how you communicate. You're really going to be reassessing multiple areas of life and the depths of life, like who you are, why you're here, what are your next steps? Do you want to, again, move to the middle of nowhere and stay there for a couple years and find yourself, or move to the mountains, or I don't know, go live on the sea or something like that? Like lots of introspection here this month. So yeah, I love this for you. I love this for you, Taurus. I really hope that you enjoy the month ahead, my friends, and we will see you back here in April. Bye for now. Hey, Gemini, sun or rising. Let's take a look at March, and I'm going to focus on 3 areas of life for you this month, Gemini, that are being activated. So your Virgo house, a home family foundation, your career house of status and reputation and purpose, and your 11th house of friendship circles and groups and people of like-minded connections, Gemini. So let's first start at that eclipse at the bottom of your sky. Like, this is not brand new energy. We've been dealing with this eclipse cycle since late 2024. That's going to take us well into about 2027, Gemini. And these eclipses are impacting all the mutable signs like yourself. So you, Sagittarius, Virgo, and Pisces, or if you have any planets or angles in these respective signs, you, my friends, have been up for some big change. So again, it's new energy, but it's old energy, because some of you, your life has already possibly changed. And then this is just another marker in time for the universe to say, okay, here's some more. Here's some more change. You got to integrate this. Let's go. You know, to keep it short, sweet, to the point there, Gemini. But anyway, let's start at the bottom of your sky here. You have a full moon, total lunar eclipse in Virgo at 12 degrees. Now, if you have anything, if you know your chart If you have anything around 12, 13 degrees, give or take 5 degrees on either side, Gemini, this is going to impact you directly. So if it's your rising sign, this is your health and well-being, your physical body, your identity. If it is Gemini, if you are a Gemini rising, that means your love line goes through the 7th house of Sagittarius. So relationship changes to how you relate one-to-one with people. This could be anyone. Business, love, marriage, family, friends, loved ones, your kids, whoever. Adjustments to contracts, agreements, negotiations as well could be coming up this month. If it's your sun sign, this would be changes to, again, health, well-being, and vitality is also tied into the sun. But the sun is also part of our purpose, and it's also tied into career for those of you that are in a 9-to-5 job. If you're not working, this would be, again, what is your purpose? We all have a purpose, a calling, a higher calling. I'm going to get to that in a second here with your 10th house. Now, back to the 4th house here. 4th house, this is all about family, home, your literal place of living, the structures of your home. It's the people that you live with. 4th house is also retirement, self-care, property dealings, anything to do with the past, ancestry, lineage, mother, father, authority figures also land in this axis as well, or you as a parent, you as a mother, a father, an authority figure, Gemini, in whoever's life. You fill in the blank there. So clearly changes to connections with your children or your grandchildren or your parents. How you parent probably could be going through some transformation and change if it hasn't already done so. Keep in mind, this is also towards our pets. For those of us that don't have kids, you know, our furry friends or our reptilian friends, whatever your pets look like, or maybe you have a farm, Gemini, I don't know, probably not, but anyway, I'll throw it out there. Maybe some of you do if you have your 4th house cussed through Virgo. That actually could be a farm or an acreage of some sort, like land of some sort. But think of it this way, it's you know, you're giving care to an animal or a human or, you know, whoever, I don't know. So it's that style is probably going to change up a little bit if it hasn't already. Now, full moons, because this is a full moon, so this is kind of like an ending, a culmination point, time for the next chapter. It also shines a spotlight up on your career, which I'll get to in a second as well. So if the home, the family, the ancestry, dealing with your parents or property doesn't resonate, it could have something to do with changes in the career sector or changes to your identity or what or who your identity is wrapped up into. Some of us, it's the career. Some of us, it's our relationships, like our family, our parents, our children, our marital partner. You know, that's what we're known for. A homemaker, connection to a rich billionaire. I don't know. Like it's your status that's could be going through some changes here, Gemini. Again, not about this month, but this is ongoing changes that is going to continue for you until 2027 approximately. So this is just a milestone marker of, okay, there's more change coming into this area of life. All right, let's jump up to, let's cover off that 10th house. Let's jump up to your 10th house here. So as I mentioned, you're lots of energy, as you can see, concentrated in the Piscean and Aries area of your life. So 10th house, purpose, higher calling, Mercury retrograde in here, same thing. What do you have between 8 and 22 degrees of Gemini? You're going to be reassessing your career, reassessing your identity, reassessing your status, reassessing your relationships. I know I'm repeating myself here, Gemini, but you see the theme here. When energy hits all big angles of your chart, the 1st house, the 4th house, the 7th house, the 10th house, big life shifts and themes are usually coming up, or connected to one of these life areas are going through a lot of change, and then you're kind of there to support this person. So an easy example would be a business partner, a marital partner, a family, a grandchild, your children, whatever the case may be, that's going through a lot of change, and you're right there with them. You're right in the thick of it going through this with them. So 10th house, public image, status, as I mentioned. Status also means going from single to common law to married, or whatever that means nowadays, or the other way around, married to divorced to single. Now, please don't take that, Gemini, as all of you are going to get divorced, okay? This is only if that resonates with you. Or again, maybe some of you it's already happened. But whatever this is, again, this eclipse cycle and this concentration of energy in Pisces and Aries is activating these areas of life for you as well. So I'm just giving examples. I'm not saying all of this is going to manifest. For those of you that work a 9-to-5 job or work for somebody else, you're not self-employed, the 10th house also represents bosses or people in an authority position. So there could be changes at the top of the food chain, changes in the corporation or the company that you work for, changes in a parent's life, mother, father, grandfather, grandparents, authority figures in your life. They could be going through some change and some upheaval as well with these cycles. Mercury retrograde at the top of your sky, you're clearly reassessing something in this area of life. Or if it's not you, maybe it's a parent, maybe it's a boss, maybe it's your work. Maybe your boss is going back and forth with a promotion. Who knows, right? Like, depends on, I guess, your connection to the higher ups and depending on what you do for work, if you do work. So again, these are just simple examples here, Gemini. So that is the 10th house. Lots of energy in there, lots of reassessments. Mars at the top of the sky, I'm just going to say it. Mars cuts and severs in flames wherever he goes. So for those of you looking to break ends with a client, a contractor, somebody that you hired, actually, Gemini, I forgot to mention 4th house. Well, I think I mentioned home, but renovations are big here too. Buying, selling, renting, renovating, moving again. That maybe some of you have already gone through that or will be going through that in the next year, possibly. But anyway, Mars at the top of the sky, making squares to your 7th house, can also cut and sever a contract. Whether this is, as I mentioned, work, business, home, again, a marital, maybe some of you are going through a divorce. Again, Mars will help with that. Mars will be like, no, let's get the paperwork through. Mercury might cause some snafus, but I like Mars here because Mars is going to be like, no, let's cut. Let's cut end these ties and then move on, which is to me a blessing. But I guess it depends on how you look at it, how you look at the circumstances. Mercury is going to help you really reassess that for those of you that are going through separation or business dealings or anything like that. Be extra mindful. Signing on the dotted line, make sure you understand everything, Gemini, because you just never know. You might need to do some cleanup later on down the road because of this Mercury retrograde up in your 10th house. Okay, and then last but not least, we have all this energy piling into Aries eventually. And this is where we had the conjunction, Gemini, last month, or I guess depending on when you're watching this. In February, middle of February, we had this conjunction with Saturn and Neptune. So 11th house Gemini, this is your older siblings if you have any. So fresh new beginnings for them. So just keep that in mind. Oh, sorry, Gemini, I'm bouncing all over. I just realized the new moon, I forgot to mention, the new moon up in your 10th house. Brand new beginnings on or around the 18th of the month. New career, new money, new negotiations, new status, new, you fill in the blank. But it is connected to your calling. Like 10th house is higher calling, higher purpose. Public image, reputation, something that you're known for. You have a fresh new beginning in this area of life, Gemini. And then keep in mind what I'm going to talk about for the 11th house, this new moon is bringing in that Aries energy. Because it's at 28, 29 degrees of the sign, it's right there at 0 degrees of Aries. So it's going to bring in this energy of the Saturn-Neptune conjunction. So forgive me, I just wanted to mention that here before I moved on. So anyway, back to the 11th house, older siblings, brand new beginnings for them, possibly, if you have any older siblings. Friendship circles, groups, affiliations, associations, networking, community, or whoever you surround yourself with is possibly up for some big change and transformation. Again, is it going to happen this month? Maybe, maybe not. But this conjunction, this activation is going to last longer than the month ahead. But again, the sun is in here, Venus is in here. You can certainly find love through friendship circles for those of you that are interested, or networking events, or something to do with like-minded, doing something with like-minded individuals. 11th house is also your role within these groups and affiliations and associations. It's the house of your hopes, your wishes, your dreams, your long-term commitments and plans. I love this. With Saturn and Neptune in here, yeah, it's going to stand the test of time. Whatever groundwork you're laying over the next 2 years is going to stand the test of time from a gains perspective. Venus in here is going to make sure you get paid for something. Or perhaps Gemini, maybe some of you, something to do with raising your prices, raising your consulting rates, because Venus is going to bring in gains from the 10th house into the 11th house, knocking into Neptune and Saturn. As long as you don't go overboard though, Gemini, with the square this month between Venus and Jupiter here, Jupiter being in a financial area of life, I can see this going both ways. Spending money, making money, or buying a lot of things, like a lot of big ticket items. So I can see this energy going either way, but regardless, just looking at Venus transiting the 11th house, this should line your pockets from a financial standpoint, or investments, something to do with investments as well. 11th house is social media, websites, and anything that lights you up and lifts you up, Gemini, should, really be on fire this month with all this passionate, all these planets pouring into such a passionate entrepreneurial sign such as Aries, Gemini. So enjoy this energy. I think it's going to get really busy. Be mindful of mixing money with friends or networking events or colleagues or whatever the case may be, because again, there's an excess signature this month of going a little bit too far, a little bit overboard. That's my only caution for you for the month ahead, being in sort of like a gains financial signature here. And like I mentioned, if you are open to meeting someone new, it's full on. The eclipses could bring someone in. The eclipses could eclipse somebody out. The eclipses could eclipse a job out, but then replace it right away with something new. And same with the place of living. Same with, renovations or anything like that. Similar themes could happen. Maybe you need to get rid of a contractor and then boom, someone comes in to replace that contractor. Love, attracting in new love and anything. Gemini could really, I can see the signatures, not only with the eclipses, but the new moon this month, and also Venus being in your 11th house as well. So enjoy, Gemini, enjoy the month ahead, and we'll see you back here in April. Bye for now. Hey, Cancer sun or rising, welcome to March. Let's break down the month ahead. I'm going to cover off 3 main areas of life, Cancer. So your 3rd house of Virgo we're going to talk about, and then the top of your loaded sky, 9th house of Pisces, and your 10th house of Aries as well. And then yes, just another reminder, Jupiter is now direct this month in your sign. So you're definitely going to be picking up that momentum. Anything that happens in the 1st house usually cascades to every single area of life, Cancer. So this could be your health and well-being. This could be any sort of connection with relationships, whether it's marital, whether it's love or business or job or career, contracts, agreements, negotiations, your home, your place of living, and then your career or your purpose or your status. So just get ready to rock and roll, Cancer. Jupiter is now full steam ahead, and he's a big guy in the sky. He's a big, heavy hitter in the sky. He's the great benefic, and he is a blessing when he comes around in our signs, but it can also increase the busyness and bring us too much, because Jupiter can bring too much of a good thing. But again, as long as you pace yourself and give yourself grace, Cancer, you should be absolutely just fine. But yeah, life is definitely going to start speeding up for all of us, but you in particular, because you got this big giant in your sky for another. He's going to be hopping out, I believe, the end of June, and then he's moving into a money sector for you, Cancer. But anyway, I'll talk about that later on. I'll make a separate video about that, so stay tuned. Okay, let's first jump to that full moon lunar eclipse in Virgo in your third house. Now, Cancer, this is a story that's been playing out in your ninth house and your third house, which we're going to talk about, since late 2024. These two areas of life have been activated. So we will start with your third house. And this is technically a full moon. So it does mean endings and new beginnings and culmination points in this area of life, and then you're moving on to another chapter, or again, just another milestone with respect to changes in the ninth house and the third house. So third house is all about how you digest and chew on information. Cancer. It's your learning style. It's your speaking style. It's your community. It's tied into our local vicinity. The third house is usually local environment, community, neighbors, neighborhood. It's the mind. It's usually the lower mind. But this full moon, because it's shining a spotlight up in the ninth house, it could also mean the higher mind or the spiritual mind, or like the third eye, for example. Educational pursuits, learning something new, diving into something new that you can perfect and bring with you, whether you're working or not working. Learning something new is a really good exercise for the mind, regardless of age. It puts an extra focus on early childhood education. So I guess depending on how old your children or grandchildren are, that could be up for some change or some challenge or some focus for some reason. And again, what I'm telling you, Cancer, might not be anything new. Because again, this is a continuation since 2024. We've had these eclipses in the ninth and third houses. So just keep that in mind. Third house is also transportation. Cancer, I know when I had eclipses in the third house and the ninth house, I actually bought a vehicle in between two eclipses, which you are never supposed to do. You're not supposed to do. But guess what? My vehicle kept breaking down. My SUV caused me nothing but grief. I was pouring thousands of dollars into it. And finally, the light bulb turned on. And I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to pull the plug and get a new vehicle. And I found a wonderful vehicle. You don't have to buy new, but this is an excellent time to upgrade your transportation. And now I can vouch for that now, because that literally happened to me just in 2024 when this eclipse cycle ramped up, because Pisces is part of my third house. So I'm in a similar cycle to you, Cancer. So I had to upgrade my transportation. It came to a breaking point. So if you're in that spot, again, fate sometimes lines it up for you. And like I said, I bought a vehicle when I technically shouldn't have. So we'll see. I'll be here to talk about it. I'm sure it's going to be fine. I bought extended warranty and all that fun jazz, and I got a really good rate. I got a good deal. I found exactly what I was looking for, which I thought was going to be impossible. But again, the universe brings us a concentration of blessed energy during these eclipses. So that's why I personally love working with eclipses. It's always expect the unexpected, and it's always blessings in disguise. It can sometimes get stressful and like you feel like you're in a pressure cooker, which I know Cancerians don't like that. But when you look back, you're like, oh, thank goodness I was pressured to do that. Thank goodness this happened and I obtained this. So anyway, there's my side blip about my transportation issues here. But yeah, changes to do with transportation or how you get around. It could be local or it could be international, because again, we got the flavor of the ninth house here. Siblings, Cancer. If you have siblings, younger, older, it doesn't matter. There's going to be changes either to your relationship with your siblings, or your siblings are going to be going through some big life shifts and changes. And again, keep in mind, this cycle started late 2024, and it's going to take us well into 2027, Cancer. So again, this is just another milestone here coming up. Cousins, extended family members, neighbors, I think I mentioned, your community, social media, the internet, websites, how you use social media. Again, maybe taking a break from social media or changing up the platforms you use, and also short distance travel. But I'm going to, as I mentioned, this is highlighting both long distance travel and short distance travel, Cancer. Now, I'm not saying all of that's coming to a close and end. No, it just means there's change. It just means there's changes here. It's not, again, Cancer, it's not the end of the world. I'm not saying you're never, ever, ever going to travel again in your lifetime. It just means that there's changes to how you travel, or how you communicate with your siblings, or how you interact day to day with your local vicinity, local community. And maybe it's about, hey, you need to travel more. Maybe this is a sign you need to travel more. Or some of you, maybe you've been on the road for 2 years and it's time to take a step back and focus more on maybe your local environment, your family, your place of living, your community, your neighbors. So you see, Cancer, it could go either way. Definitely could go either way with eclipses. Okay, so that's your third house, where we could have some more nudges, more change in this area of life. Also, some of you could, I'm just going to throw it out there, if you haven't yet relocated, you could relocate or renovate your home during this time as well, because you are ruled by the moon. So whenever eclipses impact your ruler, Cancer, you and Leos are deeply impacted by eclipses because you're ruled by the moon, Leo's by the sun. Those two rulers do not go backwards in the sky. So when eclipses come, you kind of feel discombobulated a little bit. So if you feel a little discombobulated since middle of February to middle of March, that's okay. That's just you moving through the motions and the energy of these eclipses. I'm a Leo sun, and I go through this every 6 months with these eclipses, you guys. So it's our body just kind of like adjusting to the energy. And again, eclipses hide and conceal something in this area of life that usually does not come to the forefront from later until later on. So that's why I was so nervous about signing on the dotted line to a brand new vehicle, because I'm like, man, there's something I'm not seeing. Knock on wood, touch wood. It hasn't come to fruition yet, but don't worry, I'll be here to talk about it, to remind you, Cancer. But so anyway, pace yourself, give yourself grace this month, Cancer. Well, February, hopefully you did, and then into March as well. Okay, let's talk about the top of your sky here. Lots of energy going on here. Let's jump to that 9th house across the street from the 3rd house that I was talking about. So you do have a brand new beginning here. You do have a fresh new start. Again, endings and new beginnings with 3rd house, 9th house matters. And an eclipse, it packs a punch. Now, the new moon on the 18th of the month is not an eclipse. It's just a regular new moon in Pisces. But this one is special because it's activating the Saturn-Neptune conjunction that happened in the middle of February. Now, again, it's not exact, but it's off by 1 degree. I use wide orbs when I'm talking about these big heavy hitters like Saturn and Neptune. So this brand new fresh start that's happening in your 9th house might have something to do. Also, Mercury is going back and forth here too, Cancer. So this is a reassessment, readjustment in this area of life as well. But fresh new beginnings, possibly, or reassessments with religion or spirituality or your connection to your belief systems. This is also the house of legal battles, situations that you've been going through. So just a caution here, Mars is in here irritating it, and you got Mercury retrograde. So tread lightly, Cancer. Now, these energies are making a beautiful aspect to you, and Jupiter is in your sign protecting you. But I still don't want to get your hopes up here saying, if you are going through a legal situation or a divorce, that, everything's going to work out fine. I'd have to see your personal birth chart to give you a concrete answer on that. But you do have Jupiter on your side, and anything moving through Pisces does flow to you in a positive way. But Mars can be a shit disturber. So just keep that in mind. But Mars does cut and sever. Maybe you can settle really fast. Maybe he's going to cause shit. Maybe Mercury retrograde is going to throw in confusion. He will regardless. But just, again, I'm not trying to doom and gloom. This is just a heads up where if things go squirrely, just know it's probably Mercury retrograde. Plus on top of it, your eclipse is blinding something possibly in this area of life as well. It just means you're not seeing something clearly. So make sure you got people around you that have your back, like a lawyer, I don't know, a guide, a parent, somebody you really trust. But keep in mind, they're not seeing things clearly either, because none of us are with this energy. So anyway, legal situations in the ninth house. Ninth house is also an educational house. It's more about higher education. Third house is early childhood education. But ninth house is like colleges, universities, more of that higher teaching, higher guidance. Something to do with mentoring, teaching, coaching could come up as well, or opportunities to do that, opportunities to step into one of those roles. Yeah, promotions as well. Cancer could be on the menu this month. So if that's what you're hoping for and wishing for, I'd say go after it. Regardless of the Mercury retrograde, who cares? Work out the details later on. Because again, this is at a very high point in your sky. So if you are climbing the ladder, Cancer, whether you're an entrepreneur or working for someone else, yeah, this is your time to reach for the stars and bring them down into reality. This is definitely a new moon and a month to put yourself out there and take those calculated risks, or whatever feels good to you, Cancer. Long distance trips and travels, love this for you. Love it. But again, with Mars there, Mercury retrograde, just make sure your paperwork is in order, Cancer, before you take flight, especially internationally. And don't get into a fight with a border person. I'm not going down that rabbit hole, you guys, but this is the ninth house. This is international travel. I'm not going to say any more because I don't want to get a whole bunch of hate mail here, but it is what it is. Mars in the ninth house of international travel can cause shit. But again, it's flowing nicely to you, and I'm hoping Jupiter will make it a smooth ride, but just not the time to lip off to people. That's all. Cancer? Cancer never lips off to anyone, right? Depends on where your Mercury is. If your Mercury is in Leo or Gemini, yeah, you'll probably lip, Cancer. You'll probably lip off to somebody. But anyway, no, you won't. I know I'm all over the map here. But just a heads up. Ninth house is ethics, belief systems, anything to do with foreign shores, foreign lands, publishing, book publishing, writing, teaching, coaching, mentoring. I think I already said that. And this is the house of pushing yourself outside of your comfort zone. So again, Cancer, reach for the stars this month. Whatever your heart's desire, like I would say, go after it. Because even Mars here can be a blessing for you to go after what it is that you want. Go after that immigration paperwork. Go after those international clients, or whatever the case may be. Now, once this energy moves into Aries, I mean, Venus is pretty much already there at the beginning of the month. 10th house is pretty straightforward. It's your calling. It's your purpose. It's your higher aspirations. Again, are you climbing the ladder, Cancer, or are you thinking of retiring? Because this could also ripple into the 4th house. Are you thinking of relocating? Are you thinking of buying or building? I don't know. And are you thinking of investing in buildings, or building a new home, or renovating the home, or changing up the home to make it more comfortable because you're going to be spending more time there? Anything to do with career, anything to do with you as a parent is not only in the spotlight, but also up for some change. Because as I mentioned, that new moon is very cuspy. We have Saturn and Neptune in here, conjunct. We have all these planets that are going to crash into Neptune and Saturn, technically indicating a new beginning in the career sector. So that's what I mean. Is it going to manifest this month? Maybe. But if it doesn't, don't get discouraged, because even when these planets move on and away from the top of your sky, you still have the energy of Saturn and Neptune there. So as I mentioned, if you want to reach for that promotion, the job, change your circumstances, anything to do with purpose, career, higher calling, nudges for higher calling, nudges for that career change, This is not a bad month to start thinking about that, Cancer. But yes, Mercury retrograde though, so just keep that in mind. That it just means that there'll be some readjustments later on down the road. Your parents could be in focus, grandparents could be in focus if they're still with us. You as a parent could be in focus, or something to do with your parenting style could be up for some change or readjustments as well, Cancer. So, and again, keep in mind, this could also bleed into the home life. For those of you that are work from home or are at home raising the kiddos or whatever the case, stay-at-home parent, keep in mind this energy, because that is your purpose. That's part of your purpose, right? That this could be a big reshuffling of anything to do with your home living circumstances as well, Cancer. Also changes with bosses, authority figures. A good month to ask for a raise as well, Cancer. Or maybe like this is money coming into the career sector as well. So I like this with Venus at the top of your sky. So I do like this as well. All right, Cancer, enjoy the month ahead, and we'll see you back here in April. Bye for now. Hey, Leo, sun or rising. Let's take a look at March and the 3 areas of life that are going to be highlighted for you this month. So we're going to talk about your Virgo 2nd house, your Piscean 8th house, and your Aries 9th house. So let's start first, Leo, with that full moon total lunar eclipse in your 2nd house at or around 12-13 degrees, Leo. So this is a story in these 2 areas of life, the 2nd house and 8th house, that's been ongoing, Leo, since about the last half of 2024, because these eclipse cycles take us well beyond the month or the day that's happening. It's about a bigger life cycle, bigger changes that are rippling through these 2 areas of life. So this cycle is going to take us till about 2027. And yes, the next eclipse cycle, which we already had on February the 17th, opposing your sign, Leo. I'll make separate videos about that new eclipse cycle that's hopping into your sign and your opposite sign, which technically the nodes don't shift until middle of 2026. But anyway, this video, obviously, we're going to focus on the Virgo and Piscean axis. Last month, I talked about the eclipse that happened in your 7th house. So if you want to check out that February video, you can certainly do so. But stay tuned for my separate eclipse video about your 1st house, 7th house being activated over the next several years. But anyway, let's go back to the 2nd house. Full moon, technically endings, culminations, next chapters. However, eclipses, Leo, you and Cancer are deeply impacted by eclipses in multiple ways. You are ruled by the sun, Cancer is ruled by the moon. Those are 2 lunations or luminaries in the sky, and from our vantage point, they never, ever, ever go backwards. So this is why Leos, I feel like, always have to be on. Sometimes we don't get a break. And similar to Cancerians, that cardinal energy, sometimes they just always have to be there, like they never get a sick day, for example. So Leo and Cancer does have something in common when it comes to eclipses. So if you feel wonky, Leo, I'm a Leo sun. So I always feel this energy around eclipse time. I feel off. I kind of feel sluggish. I kind of feel sick in my body. Because again, the sun is also part of our health and well-being and vitality. But if you're a rising, it's the same energy. It's the rising sign is the health and well-being of the physical being of the physical body. So Leo, if you kind of feel off, February and March, just know that's kind of the eclipse energy. But everyone is going to handle this energy different. Just because I handle it in a certain way doesn't mean it's going to impact you in a certain way. I'm definitely more sensitive than most people. So maybe a lot of you are like, doesn't bother me at all, which is good, which is, you're lucky that way. But just know eclipse time can blur the lines for all of us, but in particular, Cancerians and Leos are really impacted by this because, again, this is your ruler being blocked out in some way, shape, or form. So just something to keep in mind, whether it's a lunar eclipse or a solar eclipse, it doesn't matter. They're covering each other up in some way, shape, or form. So Leo, second house is pretty straightforward. It's, money. It's how you earn money. It's how you make a living. It's kind of like how you plant both your feet on the earth. It's the day-to-day kind of mundane work that you do. It's your overall financial health and well-being and your relationship to money. Your value system is also somewhat wrapped up in the second house, but it can also be wrapped up in the ninth house, which we'll talk about. And second house is also can be our skill set as well, Leo. So full moon here, endings, culminations, introspections when it comes to finances and resources, and changes to how you earn a living, Leo. So again, this is up for more change, a story that started technically in late 2024. So some of you, this shouldn't be new, but it depends on how this energy has manifested for you, Leo, in the past, and how it's manifesting, the past meaning in 2025 versus now, and a storyline that's going to continue to take you into 2027, technically. Yes, they're going to be intertwined between eclipses in your sign and Aquarius, and then we're still going to get this push-pull mentality of your second house and eighth house as well, Leo. So Leo, upgrading your skill set, new work opportunities, time to change up the job, time to change up the career, move into entrepreneurship. We're going to get into that with the ninth house, because I see, Leo, a lot of you are going to become the guru, the teacher, the mentor, the coach. You're going to get that book published. You're going to write that book. You're going to, people are going to put you up on a pedestal, I think, Leo. I think it could happen for all the fire signs, to be honest. I'm not going to go down the rabbit hole with that, because there's shadow energy to that, but there's positive energy to that, Leo, because guess what? It depends on you. It depends on how you take this energy and utilize this energy. We all have this energy somewhere in our chart, but you have it at the top of your sky. So I'm getting ahead of myself here. So let's go back to this eclipse in your second house. So changes with money, earnings, income, how you earn a living, buying, selling, by the way, too. Second house is material possessions. So you could be, with the South Node here, you could be releasing, selling, getting rid of material possessions, investing in something a little bit different. Like, again, what we own and value and love is tied up kind of in our values, right? Like, I value my home. I value my vehicle. I value my devices. I value, you fill in the blank. So it's what we pour our heart and soul and energy into, and what we pour our money and resources into, Leo. And again, it's that relationship to money. So this eclipse cycle is challenging you to rethink your finances, resources, and how you earn a living, Leo. So again, it could bleed into a new work opportunity for sure. Okay, let's move into 8th house, 9th house energy here. This is where we have as you can see, lots of energy in these respective areas of life. So let's first start across the street in your 8th house, since we're still talking about money. 8th house is more than money, though. So 8th house, you have Mercury retrograde here. So that's what I mean about reassessing. But the eclipses can also make us do that too. But eclipses are more like rapid, like eclipses can sometimes be a slap in the face. But again, it's a blessing. It's a blessing in disguise. Also, Leo, with Jupiter in your 12th house now going direct, I find this is very protective, Leo, which is really nice energy. Not saying you're not going to be protected after this, because Jupiter moving into the first house, I'll make a separate video about that. So stay tuned for that. But all in all, 12th house, 8th house is a bit of a heavier energy, but at least you have Jupiter there to almost like protect you and help guide you from a spiritual, higher purpose sort of perspective is what I'm kind of getting at there. But anyway, 8th house, Mercury retrograde, reassessing your finances, reassessing your partner actually could be reassessing their finances. Your partner could be going through some changes with their income structure as well. Anything to do, Leo, 8th house is, a sexual house. So I'm thinking of anyone you're sexually connected to, anyone you're jumping into bed with from a business perspective, but also from a love perspective, like a marital perspective. And for those of you that aren't married, it could be business, right? Or a business partner or a side hustle, or how is it, Leo, that money flows to you? Do you get money from the government? Maybe you don't even work. You get money from the government, money from a spouse, money from a partner, money from an investment, RSPs, 401k, from, gosh, it's leaving my brain here. Property, investments, alimony, disability, whatever, Leo, like whatever your circumstances are, it's like money flowing to you. Eighth house is also a heavier house when it comes to trauma, fear, power, control, in a positive way, but also in a heavier way. All this energy in here, Mercury retrograde, Mars, I'm thinking of, and the sun too, because the sun is shining a spotlight in this darker area of life. Things bubbling up from the past, trauma bubbling up from the past, disappointment bubbling up from the past, anger bubbling up from the past, because Mars is anger. So just know, Leo, you're all going to experience this differently. So if money and financial resources and property and shared investments, shared money, anybody you share a house or a mortgage or a bank account with, if that does not resonate, this could have something to do with the deep past, a deep connection to ancestral roots, to wounds, skeletons in the closet, suddenly trauma coming up, and you're like, man, I worked on that when I was a teenager. And it's all of a sudden like somebody triggers you, like, because Mars can be very triggering in the eighth house, Leo. And please don't take this as negative and Debbie Downer. Like, it's pretty hard to uplift the eighth house. So I'm doing the best I can here, Leo. If you want an uplifting message, I mean, it's money, just think of it as money then, and ignore everything else that I'm saying, because I'm just giving you examples of the possibility that could come up in this area of life. Inheritance, that's the word I was looking for. So some of you could be living on an inheritance, or dealing with an inheritance, or cleaning up an estate, because the eighth house is very transformational. Like, it's the Phoenix, it's the Scorpio house. I shouldn't say it's a Scorpio house, but it's kind of connected to Scorpio type of themes and energies. It's also mundane stuff, Leo, taxes, debts, loans. It is tax season, after all. Be careful with your taxes, by the way, my friends, especially if you have somebody else doing them for you. Mercury retrograde in here means, the government might send them back to you and say, or audit you and be like, oh, you made this big mistake. Instead of claiming $1,000, you claimed $20,000 or something like that. So just double, triple check the details here, Leo, because this could be mortgages, as I mentioned, debts, loans with you. This could be about you or a partner. So again, it could be you or them or another person, right? Okay, so lots of action happening there, Leo. You have a brand new beginning here, brand new fresh start here. Yeah, and did I mention the eighth house is sexuality? I think I did mention that, like deep intimacy. It's more than just fluffy bunny sex, Leo. That's for the fifth house. That's the fifth house. Eighth house is like deep, true intimacy and having those intimate connections with a partner, like just going to the next step or milestone with a partner. And having that deep, intimate connection with that partner. So yes, sexuality is also in this house as well. With Mars here, I think it's going to rev up your sex drive, Leo. But again, with Mercury retrograde, I don't know if that'll impact it or not. I mean, Mercury rules your 11th house, second house. Maybe not. Leo, old love coming back from the past. That could be a possibility. Like old sexual partners coming back from the past. And I don't mean old meaning old, you know what I mean? Like people from the past, exes coming back from the past, friends coming back from the past, old work colleagues coming back from the past. That could be a possibility too, Leo, with Mercury retrograde in here. Anyway, you have a brand new beginning here on or around the 18th of the month. Yeah, sorry, I lost my train of thought here because I was thinking about something else already, getting ahead of myself here. But anyway, a new beginning with your finances, resources, or again, your partner's finances and resources, Leo. So it depends. This could also, Leo, be a new stream of income coming your way as well. Yeah, let me see here. New moon is making a beautiful aspect to Uranus, career changes. Let me see here. Venus and Jupiter are going to be square, not the end of the world. The two benefics are squaring off here, but yeah, there could be just Venus is one of your career rulers and your third house ruler. So again, another signature of changes with love relationships or earnings or money or something to do with work, status, career, higher calling or a higher purpose, Leo. There could be changes around this new moon here. And again, it's pulling in that energy from the ninth house. That's how I'm looking at it this month, because it's at 28, 29 degrees of Pisces. That's like right at the 0 degree mark where Saturn and Neptune came together in the middle of February. So that's pulling in that ninth house energy into this brand new fresh beginning that could be starting for you this month. And again, the eclipse activating that axis. Yeah, Leo, you could be up for some financial readjustments this month. But again, I'm an optimist, so take it higher, Leo. Think of this as, good news coming into that financial sector. For those of you that have a business, an entrepreneur, like global, this is money coming in from foreign lands, foreign shores. This is going bigger, like reaching a higher, wider audience, Leo, and money rolling in from a distance, for example. It could also be career too. Like if you have a job where you're working for a big global company or a company that's connected globally, yeah, that's still, Venus at the top of your sky. Venus at the top of your sky, once she moves into Taurus at the end of the month, good time to ask for a raise, Leo. Or if your boss, if you sit in Canada and your boss is in Europe somewhere, that's the ninth house. So ask for a raise now, Leo. Venus and the sun and Saturn and Neptune are going to be trining your aspects, right? Venus will be quicker. She'll be moving through Aries quicker, and same with the sun. But just think, all this life force, vitality, money, and love is coming in from this ninth house into your first house, Leo, into whatever you're watching, your sun or rising. Okay, ninth house really quick here, Leo, is, I'm going to ramble off some examples here. So religion or spiritual belief systems, higher education. So this is like college, university, teaching, mentoring, coaching, training, book publishing, as I mentioned, anything to do with long distance traveling or people at a distance. Ethics, belief systems. Leo, that's definitely going to go through an overhaul over the next several years with Saturn and Neptune here. This is also the house, Leo, of pushing yourself outside of your comfort zone. So going a little bit bigger. Doesn't mean you have to do it this month, but the sun here, Venus here, crashing into this brand new fresh beginning that's happening here with Saturn and Neptune. I'm recommending to go take it higher, Leo. Okay, you do you take this energy, you utilize this energy however you need to. But yeah, I'm excited for Leos. Like I said, I'm a Leo sun. I'm pumped about this energy. I'm a late degree Leo sun though. So I mean, Saturn and Neptune won't be touching my sun for quite some time, but it doesn't matter because I can feel it. If I can feel it, I'm sure you can feel it, especially if you're early degree Leo. This energy is hitting you like right now. Also, if you're looking to meet, love someone new. Yes, Pluto in the 7th house, but Venus in the 9th house. Love and money. She attracts in love and money wherever she goes. So you could meet somebody traveling. You could meet somebody at work. You can meet somebody, actually either or, Leo. You can meet somebody at a distance or locally, or find out that they have a local connection. So get out and about there, Leo, and mingle if you're looking for love this month, because again, she is pouring in love and harmony into your sign in a positive aspect, not a hard aspect. But even Venus hard aspects and Jupiter hard aspects can be big manifestations that benefit us. All right, Leo, enjoy the month ahead, and we'll see you back here in April. Bye for now. Hey, Virgo, sun or rising. Let's talk about the month ahead, and I'm going to really focus on 3 areas of life this month. So obviously, you are in the spotlight this month with an eclipse happening in your sign and a brand new fresh start happening in your 7th house of Pisces. And we're going to talk about the 8th house energy as well, because yes, we have Saturn and Neptune there. I've been talking about this for a while, but now with the Sun and Venus and eventually Mercury and Mars crashing into Saturn and Neptune, it just amps up this energy in your 8th house, Virgo, and it's happening and starting this month. Okay, I want to start with the full moon lunar eclipse in your sign, Virgo. Now, this is not like brand new fresh energy. Technically, these eclipses in your sign in Pisces have been happening since late 2024. So I'm not saying this is, old news, but it just means that it should kind of feel familiar already to you. It just means that this is just more change coming in, possibly more opportunities to challenge yourself, to step outside of your comfort zone when it comes to your identity, when it comes to possibly maybe making some changes to your health and well-being, your place of living, your business, your job, your work, and your relationships, Virgo, because eclipses that are happening along the 1st and 7th axes, I find ripple out to all areas of life because it is a big angular, it's those big angular houses. So all the mutable signs are being hit with this energy. I'm going to say the most. Out of all the signs. So that's you, that's Pisces, that's Sagittarius, and Gemini. So if you have any other planets or angles in these respective signs, those areas of life are definitely being activated for you as well, Virgo. So full moon, endings, culmination points. This is an identity shift, or it could be. This is sort of the closing of one chapter, so you can welcome in something new, because at the end of the day, the South Node is here, Virgo. So the focus for you is really letting go of a piece of yourself. Something about your identity needs to be let go of and die, quite literally. I can picture some of you, maybe did you go through surgery? Did you go through like something being plucked from the body and quite literally decaying away, dying away, so you can welcome in this brand new fresh energy that's coming in that 7th area of life, which I'll get to in a second here. But the 1st house is your physical appearance, your identity. So where is your identity wrapped up in, Virgo? Is it you're a stay-at-home parent? That's okay. That's part of your purpose. Is it your home and family, your foundation? Is it your partner? Is it a marital relationship? Is it a business relationship? Is it a business that you birthed off your back, and now you're part of the board of directors or something like that? So what is your identity wrapped up in, Virgos? A part of that, as I mentioned, needs to be let go of in order to move forward to your next evolutionary step, which is going to be part of your how can I be of service, and that's going to be in the next cycle when the North Node moves into your 6th house. I'll make a separate video about that. That's the eclipse we had in February. So if you didn't watch your February video, check that out now to kind of get an idea of this fresh new cycle that's starting now in 2026, and it's going to take us well into 2028. Not to confuse you there. So you see how the 1st house can get wrapped up in multiple areas of life. So how you approach life, how you see life. It's the glasses, it's the lenses that we wear in the 1st house. And again, it's who or what sometimes we identify with, because it's about what is our identity wrapped up in. South Node is you got to let go of pieces of that or something to do with that. So that is your some examples of what could be coming up. But again, this could bleed through your career, home life, relationships, marital relationships, business relationship. Like Virgo, it really could be anything in the 1st house. This is where I need to see your birth chart to say, okay, it's making a connection here, 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 here. So here's some additional layers that need to be let go of here. Okay, let's jump across the street to Pisces, your 7th house here. Lots of energy here. The sun is wrapping up here. You got Mercury retrograde here. You got Mars here now, and a brand new fresh start in this 7th house area of life, Virgo, that again is pulling in that energy from Aries because it's right there. It's cuspy. It's 28, 29 degrees of Pisces. It's right there with Saturn and Neptune. So I'm pulling in this energy from your 8th house into this new moon. So I'll get to that in a second here. 7th house is straightforward. Anything to do with your one-to-one connections and relationships. Marriage, business, love, friends, family, contracts, agreements, negotiations. With Mercury retrograde here, this is old relationships coming back from the past. And I don't mean old like they're old. You know what I mean? From the past. Past relationships, I guess I should say. Past love, past marital relationships, past coworkers, past jobs coming back around from the past, clients coming back around, maybe a client you haven't seen in a long time coming back around. I mean, Mercury rules you, Virgo. So again, if you feel discombobulated February, March, April, that's probably because of Mercury, and Mercury doesn't function. Your ruler does not function very well in Pisces. He functions better in your sign and Gemini. But anyway, Mercury here is going to ask you to reassess every single relationship in your life. Every single human relationship, I should say, in your life. And especially your career direction, your purpose, your job, your work, your relationship to your parents. You as a parent, Virgo, could also be going through some reassessments, readjustments, some gut checks. If you have to sign on the dotted line this month, Virgo, just double, triple check the details. Get a trusted loved one or friend to double, triple check everything. It just means you might have to make some adjustments later on down the road, not the end of the world. But if it's a big thing, try to delay it. But I can appreciate you guys. Like, we can't stop life because of Mercury retrograde. Just know it's there. Know it's going to be foggy, especially with the eclipses this month. If you have to sign, just do what you have to do. Do your due diligence, Virgo. You're really good at that. And double, triple check the details and just do the best you can. That's all we can do with this energy. Now, Mars here is interesting. Mars can amp up like our sexual connections with our partners if you are in a relationship with an individual. Mars here, though, can also cut and sever and cause irritation and irritability, Virgo. So just something to keep in mind. This is also your house of clients. So for those of you that own a business, run a business, it could mean you notice your clients are a little bit more irritable, a little bit more feisty, possibly. Again, Mars is more passive aggressive in the water signs, but still that can be annoying, right, Virgo? Like, so just a heads up there. But again, Mars here I like because it's going to, for those of you that are entrepreneurial, it's going to make you go after what you want. If you're in a spiritual business, Virgo, this actually should be really beneficial for you because Pisces is that walking between the veil type of energy here. It's very spiritual. So that should benefit you. Also beauty. If you're in the beauty industry, I think it could help as well, but just be very careful. Just be very, very careful because people might regret what they do and then they might come back to you and bitch or something like that. So again, not trying to be negative. I'm just trying to see both ends of the coin here, Virgo, to give you some examples. For those of you open to meeting someone new, yeah, I can see you putting your passion, your action into that as well. Venus in your 8th house of sex. Mars is our sexual drive. Venus is part of that as well. So being in the 7th house, 8th house, again, yeah, it's definitely there. But again, be aware of how you're projecting yourself, Virgo, and how they're projecting themselves, right? And give it time to get to know this person because Mercury retrograde in your 7th house again, especially if you meet somebody new, under this retrograde in particular. Like if you've already met them, it's a little bit different. It's just getting to know them better. But if you meet someone new under this transit, yeah, just my recommendation is to go slow. And again, I could definitely see partners coming back from the past. I mean, that's it's pretty much a given. So I'm going to leave that to you, Virgo. I'm not a fan of going back to exes, but that's just my 2 cents. You know, you do you, my friends. I mean, they're coming back around for a reason, even if it is closure, right? Okay. And keep in mind, you have a new beginning here. So this could be a new relationship, a new work contract, a new business contract, a new job offer, a new love offer, and a renegotiation of something. So this is a good month. Mercury retrograde, February, March, April. Good months to renegotiate something if something's not working. That's the blessing of Mercury retrograde, especially in your 7th house. Because you can always go back over old ground, Virgo, and you have like 3 months of this. So if something's not working in March and April, readjust it, approach them and say, you know what, this isn't working. Let's do some tweaks now. By the end of April, or well before, I'd say by middle of April. Okay, let's jump to the 8th house. Okay, this is where we had, as I mentioned, that Saturn-Neptune conjunction at 0 degrees. 8th house is pretty heavy, Virgo. I can only sugarcoat so much, Virgo, but I mean, if you've been watching me for a while, I'm pretty blunt, direct, straight to the point as best as I can be, but I'm an optimist. I look at life as the glass is half full. And the 8th house is not a bad house. 8th house, those of you wanting to build an entrepreneurial dream, a business, yes. To make job changes, yes. Invest in real estate, yes. Find an incredible business partner, yes. You know, that's what Saturn and Neptune are going to crystallize your financial dreams, Virgo, over the next many, 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 many years. But 8th house can also be deep psychological shifts and changes. It has the flavor of, the phoenix rising out of the ashes, like the Scorpio type of energy. It's not, yes, it's somewhat connected to the Scorpio house, but it's not exactly like Scorpio, but it has similar flavors of the deep intensity that can come up during this time. Big life shifts and changes usually occur in the 8th house because it is a psychological house. And again, it's about what we focus on and how we change our circumstances. That usually starts up here, sometimes not, but it usually does. It's a mundane house too, so taxes, debts, loans, shared finances. It's a house of sexuality. So again, maybe some of you will start sharing bank accounts with someone, whether from a business perspective, marital perspective, or otherwise. 8th house, I always think about, who are you in bed with, quite literally, from a sexual standpoint or a business standpoint. What is your relationship to that person? Are you going to share piggy banks together? Do you share that deep intimacy with them from a sexuality perspective? But even our business partners, right? Or people that we work with. I'm not saying you're having sex with all your business partners, but we get close to our business partners. We get to know them very intimately. So that's where the 8th house comes in. And we have to be careful who we share a bed with or share a bank account with sometimes, right? Sometimes we're not seeing things 100% clear. 8th house is also property, dealing with inheritance, shadow work, again, the psyche, right? So deep psychological psychic change, and trauma is here as well, Virgo. Like, I'm not going to beat around the bush with Saturn here and Neptune here over the next several years. It's going to turn a critical eye to that. But so fear, power, control, which if it's used in a way, it depends on how it's used, Virgo, right? Like, I don't know how else to say it. Fear, power, control doesn't scare me. but for others it could, right? Like, what are your deepest, darkest fears? Saturn's really going to challenge you on that and bring those up. You know, trauma, fear of commitment, fear of getting into bed with someone, fear of taking the next step with that partner, fear of starting your own business and putting yourself out there. That's all going to come up. And if you have any past trauma, this is just a heads up, you guys. I'm not saying something bad's going to happen, but you know, Saturn might bring that up. But there's a reason for that. And Neptune here is going to soften the edges with that. And Neptune here is going to bring a spiritual influence. So whatever you pour your heart, your energy into from a financial perspective, it's got to have a spiritual spin. Or it's going to, your belief systems around money, your relationship to money and shared resources and shared assets and shared finances are going to go through a bit of a change. Keep in mind the 8th house is also the other person's money. So Virgo, yes, this is about you, but it's also about them. Them meaning, you know, your marital partner, your business partners, your whatever. It's, again, whoever you're connected with, right? From a financial standpoint. Anyway, I kind of went overboard there, Virgo, because at the end of the day, the sun is transiting here, Venus is transiting there. Venus here, again, can bring in a sexual partnership, could really spice up the sheets in a good way. So I love this for you, Virgo. Take advantage of it. And wherever Venus goes, she brings in love and money, you know, and for your case, sex in this, and Mars, sex in this case. So I'm hoping, Virgo, this will be a profitable month for you. Even when she moves into your 9th house, 10th house, I mean, again, wherever she goes, she brings in the money. She brings in the cash. She also rules your 2nd house and your 9th house as well. Travel, you know, some of you could be traveling, I'm thinking, this month for work, but I can see next month as well is a possibility. All right, Virgo, enjoy the month ahead, and we'll see you back here in April. Bye for now. Hey, Libra, welcome to March, and Libra sun or rising, I should say. Welcome to March, and let's dive in here to 3 areas of life that are really being highlighted this month for you. So 12th house matters, your Virgo house, your 6th house of Pisces, and also your 7th house of relationships of Aries. So let's dive in here. First, I'm going to start off with that full moon total lunar eclipse in Virgo in your hidden 12th house. Now, Libra, this isn't brand spanking new energy. This eclipse cycle has been with us since late 2024, but this is just another evolutionary step, a universal nudge, an ending, a new beginning in these 2 respective areas of life. So that's the 12th house I'm looking at and your 6th house of Pisces. So we're going to start with the hidden 12th house first, Libra. Hidden 12th house sometimes can be tangible results, but sometimes it's more of a spiritual, a psychological sort of advancement or aha moment or awakening, for example. So some of you will resonate with this and some of you won't. It just depends on where you are on your path and on your journey. But this is the house of endings and new beginnings and fresh new starts. Yes, this is a full moon, so technically it's an ending. But I mean, we can't have an ending without a new beginning, which is going to be happening in your 6th house, which I'll get to in a second. So this is the 12th house is an unraveling, Libra. So I mean, since late 2024, I feel like probably some of you spiritually, psychologically, mentally, emotionally, physically feel like you've been going through a wash cycle. That's kind of how they're making me feel right now. You're unraveling like a ribbon. That's kind of what they're showing me is like. And like you're like something's being peeled from you, right? The 12th house is deep, similar to the 8th house, and it's about getting down to the true core, authentic truth of who you are and what you want, Libra. This can touch on multiple areas of life, like where is your time, your energy, your effort, your love, your relationships? Where is all that going? Who's wearing you down? What is wearing you down? This is about solitude and healing and getting that, giving yourself that space and grace that you need to heal and rest and relax and rejuvenate. And I hope you're doing that, Libra. I hope you can kind of squeeze that in around this, around March the 3rd, give or take, somewhere somewhere this month, somewhere this month or in February even. As I mentioned, you're getting spiritual nudges, you're getting spiritual downloads, you're getting intuitive hits of what your next steps should be. And yeah, it can be challenging, Libra. I'm not saying this is a cakewalk. The 12th house is deep, intense shadow work. It's the psyche. It's working, think about going to therapy. It can be rough. It can be challenging. Unless you have a therapist that just shakes their head and says, yes, ma'am, yes, sir, yep, you're all right. Like, hopefully you do have a counselor or a social worker or somebody working with you that is challenging you, Libra, on the way you look at life and your circumstances and what you need to let go of once and for all in this area of life, so you can open up something brand new and fresh in this sixth house area of life. 12th house is also hidden gifts, talents, and abilities as well, Libra. So again, it comes down to that spiritual or whatever your belief systems are, those intuitive hits and nudges that you're getting that you can't quite put your finger on. It's your spiritual team, trying to get your attention. Also dreams and solitude, or sleep habits, I should say, not solitude. I've already said that, but sleep habits, routines, getting yourself back on track from a health and well-being perspective as well, because our health and well-being lies in the 12th house, Libra. So I can see there could be kind of a dirty habit that you're doing behind closed doors that might need to be released. And then a good habit needs to be incorporated into your day-to-day into that 6th house, which I'll get to. So that is your hidden 12th house and some examples that could be coming up to the surface. Obviously, not everything is going to manifest, Libra, but hopefully you can take away some nuggets of information from that. So think about like taking a vacuum cleaner to your brain, basically. It's like sucking out all the gunk and all the bullshit from the past, and it's like, boop. I know it's easier said than done, but I mean, you're in a cycle of it. We're kind of in the middle of it. You're in the middle of it. This will take us to about 2027. So I'm not saying this is one and done. You're going to continue to go through this cycle for another year or so. Okay, let's jump to the Piscean area of your life here, Libra. So this is similar to the 12th house. 12th house is heavy, more so on the psyche of the subconscious mind, cleaning out the closet, so to speak. Also, did I mention, Libra, getting into a healthy sleep routine? I think I mentioned that. That would be a good thing to do with this cycle too. Okay, 6th house. You have a brand new beginning here on or around the 18th of the month, give or take. And it's also pulling in energy from your 7th house. I'll get to your 7th house, but I mean, 7th house is straightforward. It's all to do with your one-to-one connections and relationships. So this new beginning could have a flavor of or something to do with a new relationship coming in as well, whether in business, in love, or a new contract, or a new job offer, or some sort of new 6th house is how can I be of service? But then this new moon is pulling in that 0-degree Aries mark that happened in middle of February, where we had Saturn and Neptune coming together at the 0-degree mark. This new moon is at 28, 29 degrees. Yeah, that's pretty damn close. So this new moon is pulling in energy, my opinion, of the 7th and 6th house. So 6th house, kind of a heavy house, this is more of a labor intensive house, Libra. 12th house was heavy on the mind. This is now heavy on the body. Like, chop wood, carry water is the 6th house. So, well, maybe not so much nowadays, but kids don't even know what that is, you guys, right? Well, unless you're a kid watching this, but you know what I mean. Chop wood, carry water. 6th house is how can I show up and be of service? So this is, I don't care if you're working or not working, Libra. I get it all the time. Well, what about us retirees? It doesn't matter. Apply this to your circumstances, please. So when I'm talking about those people that have a 9-to-5 grind or a business or whatever, if you don't have that, then I'm encouraging you, how do you what's the word? It's like, how do you contribute to society? And if you say, well, I don't want to do anything, okay, then that's totally fine. Then you do you. But I'm encouraging you to get involved in community efforts, to be of service in some way, shape, or form, you know, or go play pickleball or travel or do walks every day, go to bingo every day, go to the casino. Not that I'm encouraging gambling, you guys. I want to be clear about that. But you know what? Like, I don't know. I'm not retired, you guys. I'm not even close to retirement. Like, I work 2 jobs. So I don't even know what it feels like to be retired yet, Libra. So you tell me how you want to be of service. That's what the 6th house is all about. How you're going to show up. Is it humanitarian efforts? Is it, you know, soup kitchens? Is it taking care of pets and animals? That's the 6th house as well. 6th house is also wrapped up in anything to do with our day-to-day, running the kids here, running the kids there, doing this, doing that, running errands. It's duty, it's responsibility. It can kind of, like I said, it can kind of feel heavy. 6th house is also our health and well-being. It's one of the health houses. So Libra, as I mentioned, there's something here you might need to incorporate from a health and well-being standpoint. But keep in mind, I'm just throwing out examples. I'm just spitballing here of possibilities because, again, I can appreciate all walks of life are watching these videos. And again, whether you're working or not working or retired or depending on your age, I get it. It's going to manifest differently for everyone. What else? Oh, the 6th house is also workplace, co-workers, and your duties and obligations and responsibilities at work. 6th house can also be aunts, uncles, and rental properties. Like, so if that's part of your business, you own rental units or something like that, or houses or apartment buildings, that's also the 6th house. If you're a business owner, 6th house is the people that work for you. And also, it just left my brain here. Oh, people that you hire. So, you know, people that you hire to clear the snow off your driveway, the snow off your deck. The 6th house rules the contractors as well. So all those things I nattered off. Fresh new starts in this area of life. Keep in mind the eclipse energy is also activating this area of life. So what we talked about in the 12th house, if that did not resonate with you, there could be activations in this 6th house of how am I being of service? How am I showing up every day for someone or something? An employer, a child, a parent, you're a caregiver, a pet, animal, you have a farm, who knows? Especially if your 4th house goes through Capricorn. Well, maybe not. But anyway. Yeah, fresh new starts here, Libra. I like this. I really like this for you. You also have Mercury retrograde in here. So you're reassessing how you are showing up for other people, how you are being of service, how you work, how your day-to-day habits and routines are going. Maybe there's something here you got to switch up. Mars here is also going to put obviously laser focus here as well. He also irritates and inflames wherever he goes. So your health and well-being, you might get some inflammation in the body, just a heads up. Okay, I'm not saying this is going to be for everyone because this has to be your true 6th house from a rising sign perspective, not so much your sun sign. I would say your rising sign, but still, like, just keep that at the back of your mind. Inflammatory foods or drugs or alcohol or anything like that, like Mars can get quite sensitive here in Pisces. Your feet could kind of get sensitive, your toes, your lymphatic system. Mars can wreak havoc on that as well. Also, if you have any medical testing this month, Mercury retrograde, the results might come out sideways. So if they come out as like inconclusive or unknown or something like that, don't panic. Yeah, don't panic, Libra. Mercury retrograde, Mars in here, I would wait to redo the tests until Mercury at least goes direct on the 20th of the month, or wait until he's totally out of Pisces. But at least wait till he's direct before you go back and retest. Because that's really famous too, I find, with any sort of retrograde in a health and well-being house, that can be a possibility. Mars here can also wreak havoc again on the blood, on the circulation system, by overheating, right? Or maybe your white blood cells, it kind of like wakes up in your body. So just a heads up. Again, you guys, I'm not a doctor, but this is just some of the things that I've seen and I've learned through medical astrology as well. Okay, so that's the 6th house, Libra. Let's, yeah, I sort of touched on the 7th house there, but so brand new, fresh beginnings with relationships, all walks of life. So this is your relationships with family, friends, loved ones, people that you surround yourself with, marital partners, business partners, contracts, agreements, negotiations, Libra. So as I mentioned, connection here in February. The new moon is going to pull in possibly a fresh new start with a relationship, like an angle here, or again, work, business, how you're being of service, possibly even a new medical practitioner or a relationship to them. Or these planets could align you to the right healthcare practitioner as well, I'm thinking. But anyway, Venus in the 7th house can attract in a relationship here, absolutely. And same with the sun, pouring in light, heat, energy into that 7th house, crystallizing. You know, Saturn and Neptune are trying to crystallize. Saturn's trying to clean up your relationships, Libra. And Saturn in here is going to make you get serious about love and bring in, usually, not for everyone, again, I'd have to see your birth chart, but usually Saturn in the 7th house brings in a very committed partnership. If you haven't already met them, I think you could meet a very stable, secure, solid relationship in the next 2.5 years, but it depends on your age. It depends on what you're looking for. I don't know what you're looking for. If you're looking for fluffy bunny stuff, well, that's the 5th house. The 7th house, and when we're dealing with Saturn and Jupiter, we're usually bringing in a more mature partner. Venus in the 7th house, wherever she goes, she attracts in love and money. So for those of you that own a business, run a business, especially a business about beauty or skin or aesthetics or something like that, or the face, yeah, you should have a good month from that perspective, because Venus in here attracts in the clients, attracts in the money, attracts in the business. And then for those of you looking for love, yeah, Venus here can make you very attractive, very like somebody coming in. But yeah, going back to Saturn puts a ring on it. You know, I notice when, especially when he aspects Sun, Moon, Venus, part of fortune, vertex, things like that. Like it gets serious. It gets serious really fast, Libra. And some of you, that might scare you. Saturn's going to bring up relationship, not only karma, but fear around commitment. So be prepared to also go through the motions of that, because Neptune's going to soften it and bring in the romance and all that fun stuff. But then Saturn is going to gut check you and say, are you sure about that? Because, you know, this is how your last relationship ended, or this is how your last fight went, and blah, blah, blah. Those of you in a committed partnership will go through some tests. We'll go through some turbulence, and that's okay. That's what Saturn does, you guys. I can't sugarcoat it. Saturn comes, you know, think of a house on sticks. Saturn comes along and shakes those sticks. And if the house comes down, the house comes down. I'm not saying your house is going to come down, but it could be your relationship. It's Saturn will find that crack in your foundation, and he's going to just hammer away at it until he builds up your backbone. You know, Saturn is boundaries and resilience in relationships, Libra. So you'll be an expert by the time Saturn gets through the 7th house, you know. And if your marriage survives this transit, which again, if you're in a solid, stable relationship, I'm sure it will, but you're going to go through some tests and some trials. But Neptune here brings in the love. It's the, you know, Neptune's higher octave of love. So this is true love coming in, Libra, which I love for so many of you, so many Librans. I get it. You know, you're looking for that one person. Neptune's going to bring it, but guess what? This is where I need to see your birth chart, because Neptune takes 13 freaking years to go through Aries. So, you know, I don't know when Neptune is going to directly hit your relationship planets. you know? Anyway, Libra. Anyway, that is the energy for the month ahead. Again, I think March is incredible energy to work with for each and every one of us. So enjoy the month ahead, and we'll see you back here in April. Bye for now. Hey, Scorpio, welcome to March. Let's talk about the three main areas of life where there's going to be some big activations this month, Scorpio. So that's kind of what I'm going to focus on for the month ahead. Let's start with the full moon lunar eclipse up in your 11th house. Now, Scorpio, this isn't brand spanking new energy like what we had on February the 17th. That's a brand new cycle that's coming in. Stay tuned for that separate video, by the way. I'll make a separate video explaining all that. February horoscopes, I touched on it though, if you want to go back and listen to your February reading. But this particular eclipse cycle in your 5th house and 11th house axis, this is actually a fun axis. It's a very enjoyable pleasure type of axis. So I do like it. It's a story that started for you, Scorpio, back in late 2024. If you want to think back to that time. Now, this eclipse cycle is going to take you well into 2027, like middle of 2027 is when this cycle wraps up. So I'm just saying this now because this isn't like, it could be something brand new and fresh, but well, that's what eclipses do. They eclipse out people, places, things really quick, and then they replace them really quick, usually. But again, this is where your personal birth chart comes in and how this is impacting you depending on what you're watching for. But there might be a familiar feel to this because, again, we've been living with this eclipse cycle since late 2024. So 11th house, what is the 11th house? It's older siblings, if you have any older siblings, friends, friendship circles, groups, community memberships, networking, personal and professional. It's people that you surround yourself with, Scorpio, by choice or maybe not by choice from a professional sphere. But you know, you got to play nice in the sandbox, right? It is what it is. Or maybe some of you don't. I don't know. You do you, Scorpio. You got you got a wicked stinger on you. So I'm just going to leave it at that. That's saying keep your friends close and your enemies closer is sort of like, you know, coming into my awareness right now with Scorpio. So anyway, I love it. I love it. Okay, 11th house is a lucky house, but please don't bet the farm, okay? 5th house, you have a lot of 5th house energy there, but again, I'll get to that in a second. But it is this is a lucky axis, Scorpio. It's like being in the right place at the right time. It's connecting with, you know, like a fated contract or offer comes your way, and it's like, I'm encouraging you to jump on it just to see where it goes. But again, you do you, Scorpio. You have a wicked intuition about you. But that's kind of the flavor of the 5th house, 11th house, is like being in the right place at the right time, leaning on your network, personal or professional, to gain advancement, to get ahead in some way, shape, or form. 11th house is long-term commitments, goals, your hopes, your wishes, your dreams. Social media is also in the 11th house, websites. 11th house is anything to do with what lights you up, lifts you up. But this is a south node eclipse. The south node is releasing, it's purging, it's something in this area of life does need to be let go of or die, metaphorically, of course, being let go of, so you can welcome in something brand new and fresh in that 5th house, which I'll get to in a second here. So full moon, technically an ending, a culmination point, but it doesn't mean like you're not going to have any friends or you're never going to have any luck the rest of your life, or an older sibling's going to go through a downfall or something like that. It just means the next chapter is ready. It's kind of like, okay, this 11th house chapter is closing. Time to move into something new. Now, a simple example here, Scorpio, would be letting go of a membership, an affiliation, or a friendship possibly that needs to kind of go by the wayside because it's run its course. It's sort of expired. I'm not saying your friends have expired, but that would be a simple example, Scorpio, is you need to disconnect from a group of people or a membership or an affiliation or association, again, personal or professional, to move into something brand new in your 5th house. So that's around the beginning of the month, Scorpio. Um, Also, for you, be mindful of mixing money with friends. That's also coming in too, because eclipses, you're not seeing something clearly with someone in your social circle, Scorpio. So that's just, I'm not trying to doom and gloom it. It's just that's what eclipses do. That our eyes are being blurred in at least one area of life for all of us, and for you it's a friend, or it's somebody close to you that you're just not seeing something clearly. But trust me, the clouds will, you'll get clarity as time goes on. This isn't like end all be all, and you're not going to get screwed over. um if you, if that does happen though, Scorpio, guess what? First of all, you have a wicked stinger. I know better not to piss off a Scorpio. But second of all, trust me, you're going to catch it. You're going to fucking catch it. Pardon my French. And I don't know, I feel sorry for this person already. How about that, Scorpio? So anyway, that's obviously not for all of you. So take what resonates and leave the rest. But okay, let's go to your fifth house, the opposite side of the street here. Keep in mind, this eclipse energy can also manifest in the fifth house, because full moon energy, whether it's eclipse or non-eclipse, full moons or full moons, they illuminate both areas of life, like across the axes here. So your Virgo and Pisces area of life. Okay. Plus you have a new moon here in your fifth house. I love this. For you single Scorpios, ooh, yeah. This could mean, you know, the fifth house is, I love the fifth house. It's romance, it's dating, it's pleasure, it's sex, it's hobbies, it's creativity, it's anything that brings you life and joy and pleasure. It's anything that lifts you up and makes you happy, Scorpio. So you have a brand new start here. And on top of it, because the new moon is like cuspy, it's pulling in that energy from Saturn and Neptune, newly in your sixth house, which we'll get to. That so they came together in the sky middle of February. So this new moon, yes, it's a month later, but it's happening at that 0 degree mark. It's right there. It's like 28, 29 degrees of Pisces. So it's pulling in energy from your sixth house and your fifth house. So it's blending the two houses together with this brand new fresh start. So I love this for each and every one of us. And for you, Scorpio, yeah, this is in a really, really nice area of life. I feel like some of you are going to have like a big turnaround, almost like a windfall of something in this area of life. Now, again, please don't go out and bet the farm, you guys, because Mercury is retrograde in here. So yeah, that's not what I mean. I mean, like, it's like you're going to have a faded turn of events in here. Your North Node is also in here as well. So faded karmic events are coming back around. And I feel like you're getting your payday, Scorpio. Like, it's your time to benefit from something. Gains, love, hobbies, trying to get something off the ground, pregnant. This is fertility transit too, Scorpio. So I'll just throw that out there. It may not be you, it may be grandbabies, right? So it could be something to do with children. I think I forgot to mention that. Fifth house is children, grandchildren. Fertility in general is in the fifth house, and it's loaded. Like, it's pretty packed here. North Node in here, you got faded pregnancies, surprise pregnancies, and eclipse energy here too. Again, it might not be you, but it could be one of your kids, so grandbabies, or somebody that you know in your vicinity, in your circle. But yeah, just throwing it out there though, like, if you're having fun from a sexual perspective, Scorpio, you might want to take those extra precautions. That's all. Because yeah, Mars in the fifth house is going to jazz up your sexual drive big time. Mars is making beautiful aspects to you. Mercury is making beautiful aspects to you. The sun is, for now, until he moves into Aries. Then you don't really see the sun until the sun moves into Taurus. So I do love this energy piling into Pisces. But man, I probably said this last month. This is a recipe for love coming back from the past. Let me think here. Business, something to do with business coming back around from the past. Marital partners coming back from the past, or dealing with them in some way, like inheritance, or cleaning up an estate, or maybe finalizing a divorce or something like that. This is not going to apply for all of you, but Mercury rules your 8th house of finances. So there's like a reassessment here, possibly of a financial connection with, again, a marital partner, a business partner, or just property inheritance, like something that you share with someone that possibly needs to be cleaned up. Let's see. Yeah, friendship, like people you haven't heard from in a while, friends coming back around from the past, reconnecting with friends, reconnecting with loved ones. Yeah, romance and dating is really hot and heavy this month, Scorpio. So again, it depends on your relationship status. If you're with someone, this is really going to spice up the energy between the sheets. So I love this energy. Plus Venus is in Aries. So yeah, your blood is going to be pumping, Scorpio, in more than one way. And yeah, for you, Scorpio, I'm hearing channel it wisely, though. Channel it wisely, I guess. But yeah, if you're connected with a marital partner already, or getting to know someone, like I said, it's just continuing that relationship and seeing where it goes, getting to know that person, especially with Mercury back and forth here. Again, you could be dating multiple partners here with people coming back around from the past. Or again, if you're connected with someone, it doesn't matter. This is like people coming back from the past for or bumping into them somewhere, running into them somewhere. If you are open to date and meet someone new, yeah, it's full on. You could meet somebody at work. You could meet someone, whatever you do for being of service, Scorpio, like how are you being of service, whether you're working or not working, you can meet someone in that environment. So whether it's in like a hobby or a passion hobby or something you do on the side, or sports, or work, whatever that means to you, like, being of service, or if you do like, I'm thinking also like volunteering or humanitarian efforts, you could meet a love connection there. Or again, however, online obviously is a huge thing. Mercury in your 5th house, you could definitely meet somebody online. Yeah, local is really being highlighted here, but Jupiter up in your 9th house, that would possibly, I'm just going to throw it out there, would be more of a committed partner. So it depends on what you're looking for. Okay. If you're, looking to activate that sexual energy, I would say obviously you can go local for that. But I'm almost getting the vibe of like big love for you, Scorpio. Like if you're looking for that big love, depending on your appetite, Jupiter in your 9th house has been helping you out with this. Jupiter's been here for quite a while. So Jupiter's going to be here for another 6 months or so. No, till the end of June, Jupiter's going to be here. But Jupiter's been here again for 6 months or so. But anyway, Scorpio, hopefully that gives you enough examples of how the energy could manifest. Now, if love, sex, rock and roll, whatever is not on the table for you, or you're not interested in that, this would be diving into hobbies and projects and picking up old hobbies that you put down or didn't have time for, Scorpio. Pick them back up. For some of you, this could be really profitable. You could, start engaging a business or an audience, or, 5th house is like where we start a business. It's like selling online and things like that. But this could really be nice energy to pour. Actually, that's another good way to use sexual energy. That's why the 5th house is sex and or creative projects, because it's kind of the same energy vibrationally. So you can pour that into something you love. Whatever it is that you love, woodworking or swimming or diving, or I don't know, Scorpio. It's whatever. I'm just thinking of examples. Any sort of hobby that, again, lights you up, lifts you up, that's not work, doesn't feel like work to you. You could do it 12 hours a day and it doesn't feel like work to you. Mars here, your ruler, is really going to help you with that. As well. So pick back up with old projects, reconnect with your children, reconnect with your grandchildren. That could be a possibility as well. New beginnings in their lives as well. New beginnings in your kids' lives, if you have kids, or grandchildren. New beginnings coming in for them as well. Some of your kids, grandkids could be getting new jobs this month, or thoughts or talks of new career moves that they want to make. So maybe they're doing something now and then you find out they want to do something else. Or maybe they have an opportunity to step into something new. That could also be at Scorpio. Now, the Sun, Venus moving into your 6th house. Saturn and Neptune are here to stay for quite some time. 6th house is a bit heavy. As I mentioned, it's the house of how can I be of service? So whether you're working or not working, apply this to your circumstance. So this is about day-to-day duty, responsibility. Your health and well-being is in the 6th house. Saturn's really going to be testing that, Scorpio, over the next 2-3 years or so. So just be mindful of that. This is a health house. Saturn restricts. So, I'm thinking diets. Just like when Saturn goes through the 1st house, we can really lose weight. And same with the 6th house. Saturn can really tighten the belt if you want to get on a certain regime, routine, exercise plan, diet, health, nutrition. Man, Saturn's going to help you with that. He's a hard ass though. So just to kind of warn you, he's he's the sergeant, he's the authority figure. He can kind of be an ass. So just, just a heads up about that. But by the time Saturn gets out of here, you're going to be lean and mean, Scorpio, if you're not already lean and mean. 6th house, pets and animals are also in this area of life. Day-to-day duty with work, like the workplace, your co-workers, people that you work with, and day-to-day stuff, running the kids here, running the kids there, good soccer practice, whatever. Being a busybody. So with the Sun and Venus here, yes, that could just bring light, heat, energy. Wherever Venus goes, she brings in love and money, by the way. So again, I think I mentioned this, you can meet somebody at work or meet somebody, humanitarian efforts, how you're of service. But with Saturn here, I kind of lost where I was going with that one. But basically, the Sun and Venus here are just putting the focus on this area of life. But I'm also talking about the long-term, Scorpio, with Saturn and Neptune here. They're in it for the long haul. So, pack your patience here. And I think your duties and routines and habits, this is what I was going to say, it's going to change. It's definitely going to change because Saturn in here can really load you up and say, okay, if you want to be a yes person, Scorpio, no problem. And Saturn's going to load your ass up with stuff. And if you can't say no, Saturn can make your life harder in this area of life. But Saturn's trying to teach you boundaries. Saturn's trying to teach you to maybe release and let go of something in this area of life so you can have that better balance in this area of life. But yeah, Venus will sweeten the pot here. Love, money, beauty could be coming in through the 6th house here, Scorpio. All right, Scorpio, enjoy the month ahead, and we'll see you back here in April. Bye for now. Hey, Sagittarius, welcome to March. I should say Sagittarius sun or rising. Welcome to March. So, Sag, let's break down the month ahead. I'm going to focus on 3 areas of life that are really being highlighted this month. So it's the top of your sky of Virgo, it's the bottom of your sky in Pisces, and your Aries area of life is being lit up as well. So I want to start with that. You have a full moon total lunar eclipse at the top of your sky, Sagittarius. So this isn't like brand spanking new energy. We've technically been working with these eclipses in Virgo and Pisces since late 2024, so the last half of 2024. And this cycle doesn't technically wrap up until early mid 2027 because the eclipse cycles are always intertwined. Yes, the eclipse that we just had is in Aquarius. If you didn't watch my February forecast, I gave you kind of a sneak peek of what is to come in this area of life, but I'll make a separate video like I usually do about this brand new eclipse cycle. So stay tuned for that. So this energy may be new, or it might have sort of like a familiar feel to it. That's kind of what I'm getting at here. So full moons are technically endings, new beginnings, fresh starts, culmination points. It doesn't mean, Sag, for example, that's it. You're throwing in the towel. You're done. You're retired. You're moving to Bora Bora and whatever. I mean, it could be. It could be, right, for a small percentage of you, but these eclipses also have been hitting all the mutable signs very hard. I'll just quickly say that too. So Sagittarians, Geminis, Pisces, and Virgo, all of these mutable signs have been really heavily impacted or been influenced by these eclipses. So if you have any angles or planets in these other areas of life, they are also going to be activated, and they rule over different areas of life, Sag. So you see what I mean? It's always layered upon layered upon layered. But let's get back to your 10th house. So full moon shining a spotlight in your 10th house, and we're going to get to your 4th house too, because this full moon eclipse can also ripple down into the 4th house because it's part of your big angular structure here. It's one of the angular houses. 10th house is pretty straightforward. It's your career, it's your higher purpose, it's your calling, or what this eclipse cycle actually, Sag, I have a feeling is like hint, hint, nudge, nudge, wink, wink. You got to change your career. You got to, like, you're being called into a higher, bigger purpose. And, are some of you heeding that call, or are some of you not? Here's a question for you, Sag. If your work, if your duty, if whatever you're doing right now from a 9 to 5 perspective, for those of you that are working, if it's making you ill, if it's making you physically sick, that would be a sign of it's time for a career change. And I get it. It's easier said than done. I get it. I've been through these eclipses too. I totally get it. I'm coming up to an eclipse cycle that's going to be doing this to me. So trust me, Sag, I get it. Easier said than done. But that's just kind of a nudge, because the south node is at the top of your sky. Wherever the south node is where you need to release something and let go of something. Now, if you're saying to yourself, like, Stacey, I love my job, I love my career, it lights me up from the inside out, then awesome. Then I'm not talking to you. That's good. That's good. It just means there could be some changes and shuffling on the career front, or with bosses or authority figures, or it might actually bleed into other areas of life. It might not even really impact your career. So, and again, 2026, I'll get to this. You're going to hear me repeat myself with your 5th house. You got to lean into work that lights you up and lifts you up. Otherwise, forget it. Like, 2026 is going to be a flop for you, Sag. And I don't mean to be a Debbie Downer. I'm saying this to light a fire under your arse, because you are a fellow fire sign. I'm a Leo sun, so I get it. It's like, we got to go. We got to go. All the fire signs are being lit up with this Saturn, Neptune, Uranus, Pluto, and once Jupiter moves into Leo, all the air signs and fire signs are literally going to be like on fire. It's like let's go, let's get rolling here. So anyway, Sag, changes on the career front, changes with your calling. Now, 10th house is also status. So for those of you going through relationship changes, that's part of your status. Or what is your status wrapped up in? Is it your partner? Is it your marital partner? Is it your business partner? Is it your business? Is it your stay-at-home parent? Because the 10th house, 4th house is also parenthood, parenting style. Also, 10th house, 4th house eclipses, Sag, I'm guessing your parents, if they're still with us, they're probably going through some change as well. Or your grandparents, if they're still with us, they're probably going to be going through some changes, or already have been, again, since 2024. Let's see here. Also, retirement could be highlighted here as well, Sag. Or like, again, hint, hint, nudge, nudge. Maybe it's time to retire, Sag. But again, depends on your age. Or again, leaving behind one career and moving into something new, meaning you're going to retire from the corporate world, let's say, and you're going to lean into you fill in the blank, which I'm going to come back to, about something to do with a hobby, a side hustle, like something that you can take to the next step, for example. So that's the energy around possibly this full moon. I'm just throwing out examples, Sag. I'm not saying your whole life is going to turn upside down. or your whole world is going to change. But usually when I see eclipses, they're hitting all the angles. Yeah, your whole life does change. I went through this a few years ago myself, and it was very potent. It was, tons of change, very stressful. But I got through it. And man, I'm so grateful it happened. That's all I'm going to say. I'm so grateful it happened because it landed me in a better spot to where I am here and now. So that's my hope for all the mutable signs, that's what this energy is going to bring to all of you as well. Okay, let's jump now across the street down to your 4th house where the sun is. For now, Mars is just newly moved in there, and we have Mercury retrograde there, and you have a fresh new start in the 4th house in this area of life. So keep in mind what I'm going to talk about here. The eclipse energy could also activate the 4th house because full moons, whether they're eclipses or not, they activate both axes. New moons don't really do that, depending on your birth chart. I'd have to see your birth chart to confirm that. But full moons shines a spotlight on 2 areas of life, the area it's in that we talked about, but also down in your 4th house. So if the career stuff, the status, the reputation, the public standing, the parents, if none of that resonated with you, it could have something to do with the 4th house. So attention this month is definitely going to be on home, family, foundation, security, your place of living, quite literally your home. Mars in the 4th house, I can't help but think of this all the time, is renovations, blowing out walls, painting new walls, like changing up your structure of the home, like your actual physical place of living. This could be also roots, ancestry, the past is coming back around, especially with Mercury retrograde in here. People, places, things that you have not seen in a while, traveling back to the homeland, whatever that means to you, for you, Sag, or going to places where you feel spiritually connected, because this is the 4th house is roots. Think of a tree. So you could also be spiritually connected to these places that you're traveling to. There's some sort of connection here. So travel is highlighted, travel for spiritual awareness or something to do with the invisible realm or a higher calling could be happening this month as well, or on your mind. Retirement, which I know I mentioned before. Security, what does security mean to you, for you? Mother, father, authority figures in your life. Also eclipses, I forgot to mention at the top of your sky, or maybe I did. This is changing up of managerial positions. So, managers coming and going, people leaving the workplace, usually in a managerial position though. That's the 10th house. 6th house is our co-workers. But the 10th house is more so people in a leadership authority. So if this is you, Sag, again, there could be some changes at the top of the food chain that impact you in some way, shape, or form in the corporate world or wherever you're working. Okay, back to the 4th house. So yeah, very big focus on what's happening behind closed doors, basically, in your home life, your family life, relationships to parents, relationships to your children. Mars in here can irritate and inflame, so just a heads up. There could be some squabbling. People could have some sharp tongues. Sag, this could be you or people that you live with. But Mercury retrograde in here is asking you to reassess these relationships, or reassess your place of living, or reassess whoever you're living with even. And yeah, really nice time to renovate the home, make changes in the home. Mars will give you the oomph to do that. But just be careful though, because Mercury is retrograde. So, before you paint your living room blood orange, maybe wait till Mercury is direct. At least wait until the 20th of the month, because again, you might regret it, right? Any renovations of the home with Mercury retrograde, you might regret it. Same with how you speak to your family, right? Mars here, sharp tongue, you might regret it, Sag. So just be mindful of that. And you have a brand new beginning here. So new relationships with your family, new place of living. Again, what does home, family, security, ancestry, the past mean to you? This could be releasing once and for all something about the past, trauma, hurt, loss, pain, letting it go once and for all. And then this new moon, because it's pulling in energy from that 5th house, This is a joyful new beginning. This is a happy new beginning, I hope, for you, Sag. Again, it depends on how you utilize this energy. I'm an optimist, so forgive me, I'm an optimist. I always take this energy higher versus Debbie downing it. I mean, I don't see the point in that. That's just how I roll, Sag. I'm sorry. But yes, this energy is squaring you, but this energy is challenging you again to change multiple areas of your life. And I love if you have any, let me think here. If you have any early degree Sag placements, this is a trine. If you have any, this is a beautiful trine energy. So you're going to be pulling in that positive energy into this brand new fresh start, Sag. So again, a career, health and vitality, health and well-being, love, business, client, like whatever you want, Sag. You know, it's pretty much whatever you want. For those of you trying to manifest a new home, again, this could definitely, this is the new moon to call in a new place of living. For those of you that are looking for, to put down roots somewhere a little bit different. Okay, now I want to talk about this fifth house, because this is where eventually the sun is moving in there. Venus is pretty much there, I guess, depending on when you're watching this video. And eventually Mars will join the party in here, and Mercury will. But again, Mercury is going to be in your fourth house for like 3 months. So again, just kind of get used to this. People coming back from the past, relatives coming back from the past. Lots of reassessments in this area of life, February, March, and April. So Mercury is going to be in here for a long time, Sag. And anything around 8 to 22 degrees, Mercury is going to be challenging your aspects, challenging possibly your relationships and how you communicate with them. So all of that is kind of like some reassessments here. But this too shall pass, Sag. Once all this energy piles into your fifth house, I feel like you're going to feel like you're finally getting your groove back. And it's going to start on the 20th of March. If you don't already feel it on or around March the 6th, when Venus hops in there, because again, she's going to be making beautiful aspects to you all month long. And then the sun's going to join the party, and then Mars, and then eventually Mercury. And they're all crashing into Saturn and Neptune. Saturn and Neptune came together at 0 degrees of Aries. That's why I'm pulling in this energy at this new moon of your fifth house that happened about middle of February. Yes, it's a month later, but it doesn't matter. These heavy hitters are so slow. The energy lingers. And the 0 degree mark is very, very, very potent. The new moon is at 28, 29 degrees of Pisces. Yeah, the energy is there. The energy is ripe, Sag. So from a whole sign perspective, this is a trine to you. So that's why I'm saying if you have late degree Sag placements, yes, it's going to be a square. But if you have early degree Sag placements, it's going to be a trine energy. So different energy. Trine energy, though, I just want to throw it out there. Sometimes it can make us lazy. The square energy, you late degree Saggies, trust me, you're going to get your ass in gear and do something about this energy. You early degree Saggies, I'm encouraging you, hint, hint, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, to do something with this energy. Because trines, I don't know what you're going to do with this energy, if anything at all. So, and I'm not judging, by the way. I don't, it is what it is. This is what I love about astrology. Give you the heads up, leave it up to you. However you want to use this energy. But these two coming together in your fifth house, the sun illuminating this fifth house, focus will be on children, grandchildren, fertility, creativity, self-expression, hobbies, side hustles. Fifth house is anything to do with, as I mentioned before, what lifts you up and lights you up, Sag. So again, going back to that purpose. If you're not happy in your 9 to 5 and your job, this fifth house energy that's being highlighted this month and next month, Sag, you have this. Notice what you're noticing what's coming up into your awareness, because that could be your hint, your nudge of your next project, your next hobby, something that you can monetize, a new career path that you can put yourself on. Fifth house is also romance, dating, and sexuality as well, Sag. So for those of you open to meeting someone new, I love it when the sun comes in here for you, and I love it the Venus is in here as well. You could definitely meet somebody new. Absolutely, you can meet somebody new. You can meet somebody at work, or somebody that you work with in your work vicinity, or if you don't work, it's like, how are you being of service? Like humanitarian efforts, soup kitchens, animal efforts, whatever. You can meet somebody in that world, or volunteering your time, your energy, your effort, whatever. Venus, because it's in the fifth house, you could also meet someone doing something fun, like sports, like dancing, like pickleball. I don't know, whatever you like to do, Sag. Traveling, you're a big traveler. The sun rules your ninth house of travel. So, I mean, the sun coming in here, you can meet somebody local or at a distance. Now, for those of you that are connected with a partner, getting away, speaking of travel, getting away with them looks really good this month, or just reconnecting with them. Order in some spicy food, go out for a spicy meal. I don't know, spice it up, because this is a house of sex. So it's like, jazz it up a little bit here, Saz. Jazz it up. Saturn in the fifth house, again, 2.5-year transit. For those of you dating, it can feel like Saturn dries up the dating pool, or, because these energies work both ways, Saturn can really bring in a committed, serious partnership. No fluffy bunny. Like, the fifth house is fluffy bunny. It really is. But when Saturn comes through here, Saturn means business, and Saturn's like, no, the next partner you meet, you're going to put a ring on it by the time I move through Gemini. It's that type of energy. So it could go either way, but don't get your hopes up, Sag. If you are single and looking, Neptune is in here for 13 years. This is where I would need to see your birth chart. Because when these heavy hitters, when Jupiter, Saturn, Neptune, Pluto, Uranus make aspects to your love line, that's when I can tell you when you can look forward to a partnership coming in. Or when your dating life can spice up. But your dating life, anything moving through the fifth house or the seventh house, your dating life can really take off. But it's those of you that are looking for a serious committed relationship, it could be full on. With Saturn in here, Neptune in here. Neptune's the higher octave of Venus. So Neptune can even bring in a committed partnership. But again, a karmic love. This is like a karmic past love connection, beautiful connection, but he's in here for 13 years. So this is what I mean. I would need to see your birth chart to kind of narrow down that time frame for you, Sag. Anyway, beautiful month ahead, Sagittarius. I hope you enjoy this energy, and we'll see you back here in April. Bye for now. Hey, Capricorn, sun or rising. Let's dive into March here. Now, this month ahead video, I'm going to just focus on 3 areas of life that are really being lit up. So that's your 9th house of Virgo, your 3rd house of Pisces, and your 4th house of Aries, Capricorn. So let's first get started with that full moon total lunar eclipse at the top of your sky in your 9th house of Virgo. Also, Capricorn, if you have anything around 12, 13 degrees, I would say give or take 5 degrees on either side. Any Capricorn placements, this is going to add in additional layers. So if it's your sun sign, it's career moves, career changes. If it's your rising sign, it's something to do with your physical body, your identity, your health, well-being. Sun is also vitality and father figures, I forgot to mention. If you're Cap rising, relationship changes as well. Business, love, contracts, agreements, negotiations. And if it's your moon sign, Cap, that you're watching for, changes on the home front, or changes to the emotional, something to do with the emotional body. And also our health and well-being is tied into the moon as well, Cap. So anyway, just to add some extra layers, because Virgo energy from a whole sign perspective trines you. So it flows really nice energy into your sign, Cap. So I do like this. Okay, this eclipse in your 9th house, before I get into examples, Capricorn, this cycle started late 2024. So is this energy new? Yes, it can be. But it might have a similar flavor or feel to it because we've been working with this energy since the later half of 2024, and this energy is actually going to take us into middle of 2027. The eclipse we had in Aquarius in February, if you didn't watch my February video, I kind of give you a sneak peek as to what is coming down the pipe in this new eclipse cycle that is happening starting technically middle of 2026. I'll make a separate video about that as well. But anyway, just not to confuse you, because yes, we're kind of walking between the worlds here with two different eclipse cycles that are being activated in February and March, which is, you know, pretty potent, pretty important. So Capricorn, let's get to your ninth house here. Full moons, first of all, activate both houses, both areas of life. So your ninth house, third house, it always activates the entire axes. New moons don't really do that, unless the new moon is making an aspect to, let's say, your ninth house ruler. This is where I need your personal birth chart to really drill down and personalize this for you, Capricorn. But anyway, from a whole sign perspective, full moons illuminate both axes. New moons don't usually do that. So anything I'm going to talk about in your ninth house or third house could manifest this month around the full moon and the new moon, because that's what lunations, that's what full moon lunations do. Plus on top of it, it's an eclipse. So it's like, expect the unexpected, Capricorn. So ninth house. This is the house of the gods. I love this house. And, you know, it can also be connected to career, because as you can see, it's at the top of your sky. 9th, 10th, 11th is, you know, the highest point of your sky, I should say, Capricorn. Not the sky, but your sky. Ninth house is religion or your spiritual belief system. So obviously that, Capricorn, you know, if it hasn't already, you know, going through a little bit of a change or a bit of a regeneration, a bit of a shift and shuffle of your belief system. Because keep in mind, self-notice here, Capricorn. So you got to let something go in this area of life. You got to release something so you can welcome in something new into that third house, which I'll get to in a second. Ninth house is book publishing. Higher education, so think like college, university, going back to school, returning back to school. Third house is more, what do you call it? Early childhood education, you know, and I'm not saying you're going back to grade 3, Capricorn, okay? Some of you could work in that area of life, right? Work in that field. So I'm just, you know, doing the contrast comparison here. Ninth house is also you becoming a teacher, teaching, mentoring, coaching, training. You stepping into an elder role. I'm not calling you old, Capricorn. I'm a Capricorn rising, so I'm right there with you. We're not old, we're wise, okay? It doesn't matter the age. I find Capricorns are old wise souls beyond our years, you know. But anyway, that could be coming into play, like you mentoring someone, teaching someone. Ninth house is long distance trips and travel. Now, I'm not saying, Capricorn, that's it. You're never going to travel long distance again. No, it just means you're shifting something here. Your belief systems are shifting something here. So maybe you're like, oh, I'm never going to travel to Canada again. I'm in Canada, by the way. That's why I'm picking on Canada. But, you know, something like that, where it's like, I don't know, ninth house is immigration, citizenship, paperwork, moving to a new country, things like that, buying, selling, having businesses in other countries, real estate in other countries, things like that, Capricorn. So again, I'm not saying you're going to flush everything, you know, and then just focus on your local community, but you could, you know, maybe you're going to take a break from long distance trips and traveling. Capricorn, maybe you've been on the road for years and years and years. Maybe you've had a job where you're just all over the globe, you know, and now it's time to just maybe settle into a local job. I don't know. I'm not saying this is going to happen for all of you, by the way. These are just examples I'm throwing out. Ethics, belief systems are in the ninth house too. I know that's a general statement, but without making this video 600 hours long, that's, you know, your belief systems are going through a bit of a overhaul, you know, Capricorn, which could bleed into your value system as well, right? Dealing with people from all walks of life all over the globe. Like I said, ninth house is that international feel. And ninth house, I love it. It's pushing yourself outside of your comfort zone, Capricorn, which I know you folks have no problem doing. So that's the ninth house, where you're going to be getting some change, some new opportunities possibly, because again, we can't have an ending without a new beginning. for example. Let's jump down to that third house. So the opposite side of the axis here. So what I'm going to talk about here could resonate or manifest around this eclipse time as well, as I mentioned. But also you have a new beginning, a fresh new start in this area of life. And this is more the local area of life. And also keep in mind, I'm going to talk about the fourth house, but this new moon, because it's right on the cusp, it's like 28, 29 degrees of Pisces. Also Capricorn, if you have anything at the last 5 degrees of Capricorn, that's going to be incorporated into this new beginning. So if it's your sun, it's the career or life force, vitality, purpose. If it's your rising sign, it could be something similar, or something to do with your physical body, your physical being, or something to do with your relationships, a new relationship coming in. A local relationship, a local connection possibly. Mind you, with that said, Jupiter in your 7th house could also be an international connection. So forgive me, could be local, could be at a distance, or something to do with a new spiritual beginning or a spiritual endeavor, Capricorn. Anyway, 3rd house, new beginnings. Lots of action here too. Mercury retrograde, the sun is there, Mars is newly in there, and the North Node. So all this energy activating North Node, South Node axis, the eclipse activating it obviously as well, and Mercury asking you to reassess something in this area of life that's not working for you, or just going over old ground. So Capricorn, 3rd house. This is the house of how you digest and chew on information, how you speak, how you talk, how you think, how you present yourself, how you communicate. It's the mind. It's usually the lower mind. 9th house can be considered, I guess, the higher mind. But again, it's the mind. It's information. It's communication. It's technology. It's also an education house. So skill set, brushing up your skill set, incorporating a new skill set. Mars here will help you study. It'll give you motivation, passion, action, drive to learn something new, Capricorn, that you can either take into the workspace, take into your retirement, take into your whatever. I don't know. Maybe you're learning how to invest, and then you can take that into the 4th house of retirement or something like that. So it's the 3rd house is learning something new. 3rd house is also transportation, Capricorn. Mars in here, it'll make you have a heavy foot. So watch those speeding tickets, Capricorn. Also, transportation, I don't want to say, like, I can see this going either way. This eclipse cycle, actually, Capricorn, made me buy a new vehicle. I had to buy a new vehicle. And actually, it happened to me back in late 2024, in between eclipses. Oh, I, out of all people, know you shouldn't do that. I can't remember where Mars and Mercury was. Mercury was not retrograde, but I remember it was right in between 2 eclipses, Capricorn, and I don't know. I'll be here to talk about it. I still have it. It's a wonderful vehicle. I love it. I'm so glad the universe aligned the stars for me. I found exactly what I wanted. I got 0% financing. It's doable. It's manageable. I love it. I love it. So. But I'll be here to talk about it because I hope this vehicle stands the test of time. But again, transportation is in the 3rd house. How you get around could be up for some change because the North Node is here. So again, North Node, new vehicle or a different vehicle. You don't have to go out and buy a new plane or something or whatever, Capricorn, okay? You don't have to do what I did, just because it's just the way it landed in my birth chart. And I did see this coming. It's just that I was trying to push it off after the eclipses, but nope, the universe had another plan. It just lined everything up. I couldn't say no. So that's what these eclipses do. That's what I love about this eclipse energy. Now, this time around though, Capricorn, you got Mars and Mercury in here. So if you do need to upgrade your transportation, you got to do what you got to do. Just buy extra warranty. Buy extended warranty, make sure you understand the terms and conditions of everything that you're buying or whatever you're buying. Could be a new bike, could be a new pair of rollerblades, however it is that those scooter things, however you get to work, Capricorn, or retirement or the golf course, whatever, Capricorn. So those type of things could be coming up. Just know there could be some reassessments in this area of life. 3rd house is also signing on the dotted line. It could be, again, mortgages, debts, loans, tax season is here. Any sort of agreements, offer letters, contracts with clients, things like that, Capricorn, are in this area of life. So I'm not saying pump the brakes. It's pretty tough to stop life, when you got all this energy in your third house. Because again, if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. I'd of all people witness that. So don't be afraid. Just double, triple check everything, Capricorn. You're so good at that. So I'm not too worried about you folks. Plus, the third house makes opportunity aspects to you. So that's what I mean. Like, this could be a very fated time to sign a contract, sign an offer letter, sign an agreement with a collaboration or whatever the case may be. Just get a second set of eyes on it. A lawyer, an accountant, your best friend, a parent, a loved one, whoever. I don't know, one of your kids, that's got a critical eye that can see, cross the T's, dot the I's, Cap. So lots of focus in that third house. Like I mentioned, same with technology. You got to upgrade. You got to buy really expensive gadgets. No problem. You got to do what you got to do, Cap. Just make sure you keep those receipts or buy that extra warranty. Third house is also, some of you could be looking at relocating. Like, third house is community, your local vicinity, your local place of living, neighbors, neighborhood, maybe considering moving to a different neighborhood. Could be big moves with that ninth house, but I'm trying to concentrate on the third house here. Third house is also siblings, cousins, neighbors, relatives, extended family members, Cap. So they could be going through endings and new beginnings, or they are part of this new beginning that's coming into this area of life, or around this new moon, I'm thinking, or the full moon. Because again, shining a spotlight on your relatives, your siblings, your extended family members. So if it's not you, they could be going through some disruption or change, and then you're there to support them and help them go through this new beginning. Okay, Capricorn. So hopefully that gave you a clear understanding of where I think your focus is going to be the month ahead. Now, the fourth house, last but not least, the sun will eventually move in there. Venus is pretty much in there all month. And wherever the sun goes, Venus goes, wherever these personal planets goes, this is where our focus goes for the month ahead. So fourth house, similar to the third house, home, family, foundation, security, quite literally your place of living. That's what I'm thinking, Capricorn. Some of you, depending on where your IC is, your home line is, you're really probably considering maybe relocating, maybe. Because again, this new moon is pulling in that fourth house energy. Saturn and Neptune came together in your fourth house, middle of February. Early degree Capricorns would have felt this the most, but all Capricorns are going to feel this. It doesn't matter from a whole sign perspective. Well, depending on what house system you use, you're going to feel this. All Capricorns are going to feel this, but it's just that those early born Caps are going to feel it more intensely, or maybe see change manifest a little bit more quickly than us later degree Caps, where this energy will manifest as the years go on. But it's not light switch energy. It can be, but it usually is not with Saturn and Neptune. But anyway, so yes, that new beginning, that's what I was talking about. It can incorporate a relocation or a new fresh start with your family, children, your spouse, your partner, your literal place of living. Security. What does security mean to you? Retirement is also in the fourth house, Cap. So it might have something to do with retirement, your parents, mother, father, authority figures, or grandparents, if they're still with us. So this new fresh start, or again, there could be just focus on them this month. So it could be either or. Venus in the fourth house, beautiful energy to beautify your house, Capricorn. Excellent, excellent energy to beautify your home. Think soft textures, right? Softer colors, soft pillows or throw rugs or fuzzy things. That's bringing in the Venusian energy into your space and beautifying your space. Some of you could think about renovating. once Mars gets in here, oh yeah, you could be blowing out walls. You could be, really, maybe some of you are building a home, right? Mars is going to give you that umph and energy cruising through the bottom of your sky to get rolling on building a new life structure. What does that mean to you? It's kind of like the legs that you stand on, Capricorn. All this heavy energy at the bottom of your sky, you're rebuilding that. Well, Saturn's going to Saturn, your ruler, by the way, is really going to rebuild this fourth area of life. Fourth house is also the past. So this is like the past coming back around, or Saturn bringing up the past in some way, shape, or form, because that's pretty much what Saturn does. That's, Saturn brings up sometimes fear and insecurity and safety insecurity and what that means to you, for you, Capricorn. So that could also be in focus maybe this month, but this is a 2.5-year transit with Saturn here. It's just that all these planets knocking into Saturn and Neptune is just going to re-energize this conjunction that just happened. So I'm just trying to give you some examples of what could be coming up to the surface, but definitely home, family, foundation is, and your kids are in focus for sure. Also, your parenting style, Capricorn, it could also be in focus, or it could be up for some change over the next several years as well. All right, Capricorn, enjoy the month ahead, and we'll see you back here in April. Bye for now. Hey, Aquarius, welcome to March, and let's talk about, I should say, Aquarius sun and rising. Welcome to March. Let's talk about the 3 areas of life that are really being emphasized this month. So that's your your financial axis is really being lit up this month. So 8th house, 2nd house, we're going to talk about. And also your 3rd house of Aries, we're going to focus on as well. So let's start with that full moon total lunar eclipse happening in Virgo, as I mentioned, up in your 8th house, which is one of your financial houses. Now, Aquarius, this eclipse cycle that we're in right now, I know we just had an eclipse in your sign, like 28, 29 degrees of Aquarius. That is a brand new eclipse cycle. That's just a taste tester, possibly, of what's coming down the pipe. Now, I'm going to make a separate video about that, but if you didn't watch your February forecast, I kind of talked a little bit more about that, but I will make a separate video about this brand new eclipse cycle that you and Leo now, well, all the fixed signs are really going to be energized. And well, your whole lives are probably going to change with this new eclipse cycle that's starting middle of 2026, that's going to take us well into 2028. But anyway, let me back up here. The eclipse cycle that we're in now, the Virgo Pisces cycle, technically started the later half of 2024. So this eclipse in Virgo is new. It's this new energy coming in. It is at the south node, so it's about releasing what is no longer working in this area of life. But it should have a somewhat familiar feel, depending on how this energy is working with your personal birth chart. This is where I would need your chart to look at exactly if this eclipse cycle is impacting any angles of your chart, any planetary aspects of your chart, whatever the case may be. But anyway, it should have a bit of a familiar feel because, again, we've been working with this since late 2024. So we'll get started with that 8th house. It is a bit of a heavier house, and keep in mind, this is where we need to let go of something once and for all so we can bring in something new at that 2nd area of life, which I'll get to in a second here. So full moons usually illuminate both of the axes, Aquarius. So what I'm going to give you examples for the 8th house and 2nd house. Just keep in mind, these changes could manifest in either or area of life, because that's how full moon lunations work. And also that's how eclipses work too. They activate both areas of life. New moons, not so much, unless they're an eclipse, which this new moon in Pisces is not, but it is in the area of life from a whole sign perspective of where the eclipses are happening. But it doesn't necessarily mean, both, something in your 8th house is going to change, because that could be due to the eclipses, if that makes any sense at all. Anyway, let me just get to the 8th house, and then we'll get to the 2nd house in a second here. Big life psychological change happens in the 8th house. It's a bit of a heavier house, Aquarius. I can't really sugarcoat it. It's the house of death and rebirth. It always reminds me of the phoenix coming out of the ashes. It's sometimes not easy to deal with the 8th house, and we can't exactly see eye to eye with the 8th house because we can't see it on the wheel. Technically, it's an inconjunct. So that's why it's a deep psychological house. But what happens in the psyche, what happens in the mind, subconscious or conscious, usually manifests as something, right? It could be health and well-being. It could be, in this case, finances or shared finances and resources, or it could be something that we're going through in our partnerships, which could be in business or in love, Aquarius. So, again, this energy has been working with you for quite some time. So again, it's about cleaning out the closet, cleaning out the gunk and the junk, taking a vacuum cleaner to the brain and sucking out things, trauma, fear, power, control issues, getting rid of anything that is not working for you anymore in this area of life, so you can bring in that solid foundation in that 2nd house. 8th house is also mundane stuff, so like dealing with big banks and businesses and taxes and debts and loans. It is tax season after all. 8th house is also something to do with your partner's finances. So maybe this isn't about you, Aquarius. Maybe this cycle has been about your partner going through a roller coaster ride of changes to their financial situation. But guess what? If you're married to them, or if you're common law with them, it's going to impact you as well, Aquarius. So maybe this isn't about you. Maybe it's about your partner's finances, resources, or your shared bank accounts, shared property, shared assets, shared debts, shared loans, anything like that with either 8th house reminds me, like, who are you having sex with? Do you share a bank account with them? Or metaphorically speaking, who are you in bed with from a business standpoint? Because whoever you are in bed with, it's probably going to ripple to you in some way, shape, or form, Aquarius. Now, again, if you're single and you're not with anyone, then again, this would be an extra focus on you, psychologically, mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually, or how does money come to you, Aquarius? Like, do you work? Do you have a 9-to-5 job? Do you rely on the government? Do you rely on disability payments? Do you rely on your parents to pay your bills? Like, how does money flow to you? Because these eclipses are asking you to stand on your own 2 feet. And I'm not saying, Aquarius, you're not, but this is going to bring in lessons of bringing in cash solo, like on your own. But that's for those of you that are single. Different messaging if you're connected with someone here. But still, if you're married with someone, or maybe you're divorcing and going, separating those assets, this cycle could also be about you learning how to stand on your own 2 feet and providing for yourself. And it's very empowering, Aquarius. I'm not trying to, like, Debbie, please don't take this the wrong way that I'm trying to like talk down to you. That's just with this cycle, how I've seen it manifest in my own personal life, but also in clients' lives as well. So just some food for thought there. Keep in mind, I'm just spitballing examples, you guys. All of this stuff is not going to come down the pipe. It's just I'm giving you some ideas here. 8th house is intimacy, like sexuality, could also be coming up around this time as well. So that's the 8th house, Aquarius. Now let's get to examples of the 2nd house. So keep in mind the sun is here for now. Mercury retrograde is happening here. Mars is rolling around in here for the next 6 weeks or so. And then you have the North Node here, and you have a brand new fresh start in this second house area of life. So Aquarius, some of you could be getting a new job, could be leaving a job, moving into a new job. And if you are Aquarius, it's very, very, very faded, like being in the right place at the right time, or maybe you applied for a job a long time ago and you're hearing back from them now, months later, or maybe you're applying now and you don't hear from them until April. Keep that in mind with Mercury retrograde. Mercury retrograde impacts us all of February, pretty much, March and April, because I count Mercury shadow periods, and this one packs a punch, in my opinion, because it's interacting with the nodes and all of this concentration of energy, plus on top of it, it's right in the middle of eclipse season. So, I mean, you just can't make this up, Aquarius. That's why anything that comes back around, job offers, money opportunities, side hustles, even material possessions. Actually, this is an excellent time, Aquarius, to get a good deal on stuff. So whatever that means to you, just keep your receipts though, especially if it's technology or vehicles in particular, because again, Mercury retrograde rules apply. But I find sometimes when a retrograde planet goes through the second house, it's like, yeah, you get killer deals on stuff. But anyway, doesn't apply to everybody. I can appreciate that. But anyway, second house, reassessing your work, reassessing how you work, reassessing the hours that you work, reassessing your relationship with money and how you earn a living, reassessing what you value or who you value and what you're pouring your energy and your effort into. Are you trying to change someone's value systems to meet yours, or vice versa? Is someone trying to change yours? Is someone trying to put you in a box, Aquarius? Yeah, good luck with that, right? Yeah, how you earn a living, anything that belongs to you. This is really good for buying, selling, but again, that cautionary note of Mercury retrograde. Mars in here can cut and sever. Like I'm thinking selling, like, getting rid of stuff. But the North Node is here. So this is where you're going to gain more. So I think if anything, Aquarius, you could be buying more, buying a house, getting that mortgage loan, buying a new vehicle, buying technology equipment or whatever you want. So I can kind of see it both ways. I hope it doesn't confuse you. It's whatever resonates with you, Aquarius. And I know I'm talking out of both sides of my mouth, but I mean Mars cuts and severs, selling, getting rid of. But then the North Node here, eclipse activations, brand new moon here around the 18th of the month. This is like bringing in more. For you, I'm hoping this is more money, more finances and resources flowing your way. Now, if you don't care about that, if that's not on your mind, then it's something to do with your value system or material possessions, or again, buying something, buying, selling, treating yourself, pampering yourself, whatever you want, Aquarius, in this second house from a material standpoint. Second house is also skills, talents, and abilities too. I almost forgot about that. So this is upgrading your skill set. This is monetizing something, bringing this into slowly but surely into your career sector. Something that you're learning now you can take with you, right? As the energy moves through this zodiac wheel here. Okay, last but not least, yes, the Sun and Venus moving into the third house, activating the Saturn-Neptune conjunction. One thing I forgot about, you guys, new moon in Pisces at the end of the month, 28, 29 degrees. So because this is so cuspy, just like our last eclipse at 28, 29 degrees of an Aquarius, this one, it's so close to that conjunction, it's going to pull in the energy from your third house into this fresh new beginning in your second house. Now, some of you this will resonate with, some of you won't, because it depends on your personal birth chart, it depends on planets, placements, points, angles, and it depends on if this is truly your second house and third house that we're talking about here. But anyway, in general, yes, new beginnings on the financial, career, work front are possible this month for you, Aquarius, or new ways of earning a different income stream, money coming to you in different ways. Now, the third house is it's also an education house, so upgrading your skill set, like I mentioned. It's communication, it's how you communicate, Aquarius, it's the mind. It's more so the lower mind, it's how you articulate yourself, it's how you digest and chew on information. This is also the house of transportation, so again, buying things. It's also a technology house, so upgrading those gadgets, devices, social media, how you use social media, the internet, websites. This is short distance trips and traveling around. This is also your local community, your local vicinity, your local environment, cousins, neighbors, neighborhoods, siblings, relatives. So one of those areas of life that I mentioned could also be wrapped up in this new moon because it's so close to this Saturn Neptune conjunction that happened in middle of February. But again, this new moon's going to activate that 0-degree point. Also, that's where some of your focus is going to be this month. So you see how the second house, third house is really heavy. That's where I think in general, new moons, full moons, eclipses aside, this is where the concentration and focus of energy is, I think, Aquarius, going to be for you for the month ahead. For those of you open to meeting someone new, Aquarius, you could find love locally, especially coming together with Neptune and Saturn. This person, could be a keeper, because Saturn's no joke. Saturn brings in a solid partner. When I'm doing relationship readings for folks, I always look at the outer planets transiting your 7th house ruler. So those bring in those committed relationships. No offense to Mars and Venus, it can bring in love and sex and romance and stuff like that as well. Like, that's the spark. But what makes a relationship stand the test of time is Jupiter transits, Saturn transits, Neptune transits, Pluto transits, Uranus transits, Aquarius. Not to confuse you. But I'm just saying, for those of you open and looking to meet someone new, Venus in the 3rd house, wherever Venus goes, she attracts in love and money, which is nice. But with Saturn and Neptune, her conjuncting those two planets, yeah, you could find, a pretty serious committed partnership. Absolutely. Let's see here. Also, going back to the buying and selling or making money online. Again, Venus, she can bring in money in this area of life as well for you, Aquarius. So I love this for you. I love the energy for March. If you want a screenshot of all the mundane transits, that's at the beginning of the video, you guys. Circle those on your calendars. I think it's going to be a wonderful month ahead. But of course, this is where free will comes in, Aquarius, and you could utilize this energy however you wish. So, all right, Aquarius, enjoy the month ahead, and we'll see you back here in April. Bye for now. Hey, Pisces, sun or rising, welcome to March. And Pisces, we're going to go over 3 areas of life that are really going to be activated this month. So, of course, it's your 1st house, 2nd house, and your 7th house. Pisces, if you're celebrating a birthday this month, I want to wish you a wonderful, not only day ahead, but man, oh man, what a year ahead I think you're going to have, because I'm thinking of your solar birth chart, which is a snapshot in time of the year ahead for you. And you're going to have all this potent, powerful energy in your 1st house, your 2nd house, your 7th house. Plus, you're going to have eclipse energy tied into your solar chart as well. So I love this for you. So let's break this down as to what possibly you could be looking at for the month ahead. So let's first start with that full moon total lunar eclipse in Virgo in your opposite sign. So Pisces, what do you have around 12, 13 degrees? But I'm going to widen up the orb here with eclipse energy, because it is eclipse energy. All of you are going to feel this, okay? So it's not like no one's going to be left out here. Trust me, no one will be left out. But if you have anything around 12, 13 degrees or 5 degrees on either side, you'll probably feel this energy a little bit more. And it depends on what you're watching for as well. So Pisces, this eclipse cycle is nothing really new. This obviously is going to be bringing in new energy. February, we had a new eclipse in Aquarius, but that's a different eclipse cycle. I'll make a separate video about that. February, I talked about that a little bit. But I'll make a separate video about it in the next few months here. But for now, we're still in your eclipse cycle and a Virgo eclipse cycle. So this started technically the last half of 2024, where we got our first sneak peek of these eclipses in your sign and Virgo before they permanently, the nodes of the moon transitioned into your sign. I believe it was January of 2025, but we had our first eclipse activations. The fall, well, depending on where you were in the atmosphere or on the planet, not atmosphere. Fall in the northern hemisphere, spring in the southern hemisphere of 2024. So, Pisces, I mean, these eclipses have the potential to totally change your entire life, totally change your existence. All the mutable signs are up for this. So it's you, it's Virgo, it's Sagittarius, and Gemini. So check your chart. If you have any other placements or angles, you have been going through a lot of change, and if you haven't, first of all, I'm a little bit surprised, but second of all, we are still in the middle of this eclipse cycle that's going to take us into about the first half of 2027. So anyway, my long-winded natter there means that you're still up for more change and opportunity coming into your first house and seventh house. So let's break this down. So beginning of the month, we have that eclipse activation, activating you and your seventh house of partnerships. So this one's pretty straightforward. Changes, endings, and new beginnings with partnerships, or something to do with your one-to-one connections has to change, Pisces, in some way, shape, or form. Your relationship to your family, your relationship to your place of living, your relationship to your career, your relationship to your boss, your coworkers, or maybe you own your own business. So client relationships might need to change. The client base that you're attracting in might need to change or adjust in some way. Maybe you need to adjust how you work with clients. Maybe it's time to move online, or maybe it's time to move working one-on-one with individuals. Or maybe it's time to reach a higher, wider audience. Whatever your career is, Pisces. Your relationships with your children, your relationships with your marital partner, your relationships with business partners, common law partners, or somebody that maybe you let go of a relationship over the past year or year and a half, and then now you're welcoming in a new relationship, or maybe you're going to stay single for a while and you want to get to know yourself, Pisces. You want to get to know what you want out of a relationship, what your needs and desires are in a relationship, Pisces. So lots can come up around this eclipse. And again, that's on or around the 3rd of the month. I have the dates on the slide here. Keep in mind, full moons, whether they're, eclipses or not, full moons shine a spotlight into the opposite sign. So this is Pisces technically shining a spotlight on you, kind of putting you in the spotlight or you in the hot seat to challenge you or light a fire under your butt to, again, change something that's just not working in your life. And you have so much energy in that first house. And plus on top of it, you got Mercury retrograde there. Mercury rules your 4th house of home, family, foundation. So we talked about that, changes in that area of life. Changes to mother, father, authority figures in your life, changes to how you parent, Pisces, or your parenting style. Mercury also rules your 7th house of relationships, Pisces. So this Mercury retrograde in connection with these lunations this month is really, really, really important, I think, because Mercury rules 2 big angles of your birth chart. Of course, depending on what you're watching for, but especially if you're a Pisces rising, this is a really potent, powerful Mercury retrograde, but on top of it, the eclipses are working on you as well. So Pisces, pace yourself and give yourself grace February, March, and April, because I think some of you, not all of you, but a lot of you could be going through a lot, and you need a lot of space and time and energy to kind of move through these emotions or whatever is coming up this month. So I'm going to jump to your 1st house now, because again, as I mentioned, the full moon, the eclipse is also technically activating your 1st house as well. And on top of it, you have a brand new moon in your sign this month. So this is your birthday new moon, Pisces, just to kind of give you a heads up, whether you celebrated a birthday last month or this month. I would say this is your lunation to set those birthday wishes and intentions for what you want to manifest in the year ahead. You don't have to, but I mean, approximately once a year we get a new moon in our sign, and it doesn't matter if you're watching for sun or rising. You can set those intentions, hopes, wishes, dreams for what you want to manifest. And this new moon is making a really amazing aspect to Uranus. And Uranus, as you may or may not know, expect the unexpected. He's the awakener. He's the rebellious energy. You know, where Uranus is in our birth chart is where we cannot be pushed down or boxed in or put in a little box or contained in some way. So Uranus does want to liberate you around this new moon. So that's what I'm saying. If you want to work with this energy, depending on your style, like I said, you don't have to. It doesn't have to be a big deal. You can just say your intentions out loud. You can put them in your phone. You can write them on your wall, like with the sticky note or whatever you want to do with this energy. But, you know, Uranus is helping you liberate something in this area of life. And again, the first house touches all areas of life, Pisces, just like this full moon technically can ripple to all areas of life. That's what happens when we get lunations on the big angles. It really ripples out and impacts every square inch of our lives, I find. So anyway, let's go back to your first house. So just a reminder, the first house is your physical appearance. It's part of the health and well-being of your body as well. It's sort of part of that picture. And it's not the only health and well-being signature, but it's part of the greater picture. It's your identity. You know, who do you identify with? What do you identify with? You know, is it the home life? Is it that you're a mom, a dad, an authority figure, a boss, a business owner, that, I don't know, you're married to a prominent figure, whatever the case may be, Pisces. It's part of your identity and status that's being highlighted here. And again, first house, major big life changes. So Mercury is asking you to reassess something in this area of life, or again, your home life, your security, what family means to you, your relationships with your children, your relationships with everyone, every single person in your life. You know, Mercury's asking you to reassess this. Now, Mars is coming in here, giving you more vitality and oomph and energy, passion, motivation, drive to get rolling with something in the first house. So it's kind of like, okay, time to wake up, Pisces. Some of you, depending on where your natal Mars is, some of you will find this transit easy. Some of you might struggle with it because Mars can't really express himself very well in your energy, Pisces, and same with Mercury. So if you feel discombobulated, as I mentioned, just this too shall pass. But I do like Mars as a motivator, and he does rule your second house of money, earnings, income, material possessions, and your skill set. And he also rules your ninth house of the gods, of spirituality, of religion, belief systems, your ethics and belief systems, and, or I should say, what that means to you. Because Mars is actually a very important ethics, values planet for you, which is kind of interesting with Mars, because he can kind of be a little bit chaotic or change his mind quite a bit. Ninth house is also travel and spirituality and learning, teaching, education, mentoring, coaching, training. So you could be incorporating some of those into, again, this first house energy that is really getting amped up for you this month, Pisces. Okay, let me see here. Once the sun moves into your second house, joins the party there with Saturn and Neptune. I'm sure you're very relieved, Pisces, that Saturn and Neptune are finally moved on. And this new moon is so close to the cusp of Aries. This new moon on or around the 18th. Sorry, did I mention that? Yeah, you also have a new beginning in your identity sector. My apologies. Did I mention that? Yeah, so you have a fresh new start in, well, again, your first house, which could be bleed into your 7th house, your 10th house, 4th house. I don't want to drive you nuts by repeating myself, but this new moon energy. Oh yeah, because we talked about setting your birthday wishes and intentions. My apologies. Sorry, Pisces. I'm all over the map here. Mercury retrograde is making me all squirrely. Pisces is my 3rd house of communication. So yeah, this is really impacting my brain. Anyway, this new moon is also going to pull in new beginnings from your second house too. So this could be, Pisces, new work opportunity, new money opportunity, or new ways to earn a living, new job, new income stream, new material possessions. What else? Skills, talents, abilities, like, so similar to the ninth house. Education here is being highlighted again. So that is also part of this new moon or fresh new beginning in your first house. But anyway, back to your second house. Venus is in there for the whole month. The sun will hop in there in or around the 20th of the month. But these planets, as they move through your sign and crash into Saturn and Neptune, it reactivates that 0-degree mark of Aries, where Saturn and Neptune came together in the sky approximately middle of February. So what I mean by that is it's going to reactivate your second house for the month ahead. But also, this is a longer term thing that I want you to think about, because Saturn's going to be in here for 2.5 years. Neptune is going to be in here for approximately 13 years. So this is not overnight energy, but it's an activation point. And it goes beyond March. Like, this is bigger than March. But if I just look at the sun and Venus, again, pouring light heat energy into your money house, hopefully lining your pockets, Pisces, boosting your creativity, boosting your sales, boosting your finances in some way, shape, or form. Your value system is also in here as well. Yeah, your value system is really going to go through, and spirituality is really going to go through another overhaul, Pisces. But again, it's not going to happen overnight. With Saturn in here, Neptune in here, that's what I'm kind of looking at. It's just that the sun and Venus is activating it, or putting more manifestation in this hope, wish, dream that you have in this second house. This is also about, Pisces, material possessions, like anything that you own, anything that you put your heart, your blood, sweat, tears into is that second house. And it's also, as I mentioned, a skill set. So Pisces, I have no doubt, whether you do it today, tomorrow, next year, or the year after, you're crystallizing something in this area when it comes to work, new work, revitalizing your work, learning a new skill set so you can evolve with the times. I mean, Uranus in your third house is going to be giving you a gift. Yes, he's exiting your sign, oh my goodness, your third house. And, this is about new ways of using social media, the internet, advertising, putting yourself out there, buying and selling, how you use technology. So, Uranus is going to help you in this area of life as well. But then Saturn and Neptune are still kind of nudging you to heed the call. Like, there's something new that you still need to learn in this area of life and solidify. So again, whether it's work, money, finances, resources, your relationship to money, your relationship to your, whatever your material possessions are, whatever you consider that, right? Your place of living, your couch, your computer, your vehicle, like material possessions can, I can go on and on here. So Saturn and Neptune are going to definitely be changing that for you for many, many, many years to come, Pisces. So I hope I'm not confusing you. It's in it for the long haul. It's just that every single year when planets pile into your sign and activate your second house, this is just going to be a constant gnaw, a constant regeneration of these planets and a reawakening of these planets of, hey, reminder, I'm here to stay for a little while. So work with me here and I'll work with you. And once these heavy hitters, like I said, I notice when they exit a sign, that's when they give you the gifts and the blessings, the higher energy of these planets, I find, depending on how you use them, you guys. Okay. So not all of us take this energy to the highest plane. I'm not here to judge, just it is what it is, right? We're doing the best, humanity is doing, I guess, the best we can with what we got in front of us. Including leadership in front of us, right? So, and the tools and the resources that we have access to. But once these heavy hitters like Saturn and Neptune leaving your first house, hopefully they left you with that gift of identity and crystallizing what you want to go after, whether it is an identity change. But again, the first house, like what we talked about, can manifest in any area of life. And now they're focused on your work and your day-to-day duty and responsibility and how you're going to utilize this energy, Pisces. So I love this for you. What else? Let's see here. So that is about it, Pisces, that I wanted to talk about for the month ahead. So I think March is going to be a wonderful month. So enjoy the month ahead, my friends, and we'll see you back here in April. Bye for now.